All right, guys, it is time. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having an excellent Saturday afternoon, or for those of you over in Europe, a Saturday night. Today, we are here with something a little bit different. So this weekend, we're going to be taking a break from our regular weekly tournaments, as you guys have been seeing, and we're going to be casting the King's Cup tournament. So the King's Cup tournament is hosted by the one and only Shetland Apache, who you guys have seen in the Everchosens. But more specifically, Shetland Apache has been running the multiplayer community, these big King's Cup tournaments and a multitude of other events since it's been a long time. He's been very, very active and pretty much one of the main figureheads in competitive multiplayer. So he's running this tournament, which is the 5th King's Cup. And yeah, so today we're going to be casting the finals and the semifinals. So this is one of the first semifinals here. You can see the names. It's going to be Soothsayer versus Crabling. So Talaxtalan Soothsayer. Of course, the winner of our last ever chosen tournament is going to be facing off against Crabling, who I don't know if I've seen him play. So this will be pretty interesting. It's going to be Dark Elves versus Wood Elves, which I don't know. It's a good matchup. It's pretty intense for sure. Sunday morning for some of you guys. I know we're global here. No, this is not a SFO tourney. This is just a standard Total War. So yeah, this is going to be the first best of 3, which is going to be the semis, and they're just wrapping up right now the other quarterfinals to dictate the next semifinal match. So I don't know who's going to be in that yet, but once that is done, we will then start. So basically right now we're just going to be hanging out, letting some people gather, and going from there. So let me go ahead, and there's actually something I forgot to do. I forgot to get a stream blocker. So for today, who do you guys feel like having as a stream blocker? Let's get Chuck Norris from Enter the Dragon. No, we had Chuck last week. We can get a... We'll get a... Yeah, I think we got to go with Chuck Norris from Enter the Dragon. Yeah, when he's like fighting... when he's fighting Bruce Lee. We could totally do that. That'd be pretty good. All right, so I'm just going to find something. But yeah, right now we're just waiting for everyone to get ready. Yeah, no, Chuck Norris will be here in just a moment. So we'll get him. Oh, this is pretty good. Pretty great. Here we go. I just found a really good one, guys. You guys are in. So yes, we will have a screen blocker, so there can't be any stream sniping. Because I know, I don't know everyone in this tournament, so there could be some folks who are really trying to get out there for the win. So, hey, Bubba Bricks, you're here. Yes, this is the King's Cup today. Yes, this is the King's Cup. So it's the tournament hosted by Shetland Apache. So this is going to be the first round here. So for any of you guys joining, we haven't started yet. Oh, Dolph Lundgren would be really good too. Oh man, but I think we got to go with the one I just grabbed. You guys will see why in just a moment. So hold on just a second here. I could get like, oh man, I gotta like edit that photo. It's so bad. God. Okay, here we go. And get Chuck holding a cheeseburger. I think that's pretty good, right? What do you guys think of that? I mean, I could have edited it with my Microsoft Paint skills, but I think that's great. Cool. All right, Chuck's going to be blocking. So whenever someone's picking their army selections, we can just have him kind of hanging out there. So yeah, Ainsley Harriet, he already appears through donations and everything. So I think next week, though, we'll get Dolph Lundgren for sure. But yeah, Soothsayer, it's going to be fun to see him. I don't know. I haven't seen him play too much since the Ever Chosen. I think he did play in one of my Flash tournaments, actually, but he actually just picked his army right when the screen blocker went up. I just saw like his army appear, so he was watching the stream, I think, which is pretty cool. Yeah, we'll get a different 80s legend each week for sure. Lady Turin and I this morning were talking about Steven Seagal and how he like runs really weird. Yeah, Gimli could be good. It's pretty good, right? Yeah, Chuck's got the burger and everything. Hey, we got Mr. Duda from Poland. Hey, appreciate it, man. Yeah, we're gonna keep it rolling. And again, big thanks to Shetland Apache. He's in chat here. You can see him, Mr. Bailiff. He is the gentleman who is running this tournament. He's the admin, the tyrant who cracks the whip and makes sure they're all playing their games. He is does a lot for the multiplayer community. So big thanks to him for having us here to cast these games today. And we're just getting ready. Yeah, there's no such thing as too much Chef Ainsley. So yeah, right now the players are picking their armies. But as far as the matchup goes, the Wood Elves have some decent advantages. Their Skirmisher Cav are a little bit... They can out-skirmish the Dark Riders, right? Because Dark Riders can't fire 360, so if they're being over-pressured by Glade Riders, they can usually get taken down. Wild Riders can do pretty well, I suppose, but again, Cold Moon Knights are heavily armored, and the Wood Elf Cav, one of the biggest issues they have is like just dealing with heavy Cav in general. Like if you're playing against Wood Elves as like Empire or Bretonnia and you just spam heavy Cav, it is so damn hard for the Wood Elves to win. So the rules of this tournament are the same as the Flash tournaments you guys have been seeing on the channel. If Shetland Apache is still here in chat, perhaps he can link the rules. Because I don't have them like on hand here. I'd have to like minimize and go dig them up for you guys. But yeah, it has some limitations on like monstrous units. So you can't like spam like, 6 monsters. And, it basically just makes it so you can't like spam like an entire army of like range units. It forces a little bit of balance and stuff. It also has limitations on 360 units and units that like shoot while running and shooting backwards. So it's good. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's ready to go, guys. But yeah, you're going to see some high-level play today. It's going to be Soothsayer in this first game, which is right out of the gates coming out pretty hard. But Crabling, obviously, it's a pretty big tournament. I'm not sure if anyone is playing in the tournament that is in chat. How many players are in this tournament today? Because I'm just casting the semis and the finals, so I'm not aware of how many there were in total. Yeah, Shetland just dropped a link. So if you see it there, he's one of the admins here, Mr. Bailiff. He linked to the rules, so if you guys want to read it. It has like rules of engagement as well as like unit selections and everything. It's also the same rule set that we used for the Ever Chosen tournament. So, Lady Turn might make an appearance. She actually just went to the store to get some snacks and stuff, so she'll probably come back a little bit later in the stream. I would suppose. Yes. Hey, what's up, Romulan Dog? I saw you were playing in the tournament today as well. Yeah, how many people did we have in the tournament in the beginning? I'm curious. 37 people. That is balls deep. That is a lot of players. So yeah, you guys, like, we're going to be seeing the top 4 players here playing, and like these guys had to work, I mean, there were 37 players total in the tournament, right? So it's definitely a lot. As far as how many games, this is going to be a best of 3. We're going to have another best of 3, and if I'm not mistaken, the finals are a best of 5. So it's literally the exact same format, finishing format as the Flash tournament. So it'll be 7 games at the least, and then at the most 12 games. So you guys are in for quite a bit. And there will be some downtime as well. So yeah, it's going to be good. It has 52 participants. Does anyone else remember when Chuck Norris Let's see. How indestructible Chuck Norris's truck was. Yeah. Oh man, in Walker Texas Ranger, Chuck Norris was just like a force of nature. He yeah, like he would like do jump kicks and like fly through the windshields of cars and stuff like that. Oh my god. There's this scene where like he's at the end of a driveway, right? And the criminal, I wonder if I could show it on stream. I have a feeling I might get like trolled if I show copyrighted content like that. I don't know if anyone's still holding on to the copyright of Walker Texas Ranger, but he like is at the end of this driveway, right, in like a karate stance, and like this like classic like mustache twirling villain is like in a sports car, like he's like, oh, I'm just gonna run over Chuck Norris, right? And Chuck Norris is like, the car is going like 70 miles per hour at Chuck Norris, and he just goes and throws like a fat jump kick in the air, and his foot flies through the windshield and like kicks the guy in the neck or the face, and he just takes the guy out. He flies through the windshield. He's totally fine. He just like gets out and is like, I'm good. I'm good. That's one of my favorite all-time scenes. All right, I think I have to find this for you guys. Hold on. It's so good. Oh my god, because I grew up watching Walker Texas Ranger. That was like one of my favorite shows. Walker Texas Ranger car jump kick. Is this it? Oh my god. It's so... Hold on. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. Okay, guys, check it out. I just linked it in chat. If you guys want to be enlightened, just watch that link. God. Here comes the jump kick of the gods. Man, Chuck Norris is such a beast. Oh no, the car actually stops. Okay, that makes more sense. So my memory was wrong. But he still like flies through the windshield and karate kicks the guy. The car actually like comes to a stop. He should have just tried to run him over. Yeah. Texas Ranger is a true classic. There's always a roundhouse kick. Yeah, we're talking about Walker Texas Ranger. I used to own all the DVDs. So I was a little bit wrong. The car stops. Because it's like, oh man, Chuck Norris. It's like blinded by his like, you know, the grandeur of Chuck. And then the kick just like flies through the windshield and like domes the guy. It's so funny. Here you go, guys. This is like one of my favorite scenes ever. Yeah. It's so good. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know who has an advantage here. I would say like Wood Elves do struggle really bad against heavy cav factions, but against factions that don't have heavy cav, Wood Elves can have some crazy battlefield control. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how this is. And Shetland, quick question, if you're still in chat, is this actually going to be blind picking? Let me know. I'm kind of curious if it's like similar to how we do it, or if they have like a... Yeah, it's nice of the bad guy to throw on the brakes, right? He's just like, oh god, it's Chuck Norris, and then he like puts on the brakes. The guy like flies through the windshield, just kicks him in the face. Oh, they just don't do stuff like that anymore, you know? It's so good. The tournament format it's pretty much the same as what we've been doing with the Flash tournaments, but I mean, it's just the end of a tournament. It's been going on since like 8 in the morning. Oh yeah, when Chuck Norris stops the chainsaw with his bare hands. That's in the movie where he plays like a Native American forest spirit, though. That's not from Walker Texas Ranger. Yeah. Oh, it's not blind pick? How do they pick their armies? Do they just get like a couple to choose from? They like declare like one race, or they declare 3 races and they can like pick any of them for the first game? Yeah. Curious how they're doing that. Iron Mountain Paso. Cool map, if that's one they're actually playing on. Yeah, guys, we're just in the preloading right now, so we're just kind of hanging out, just waiting for the other quarterfinals to finish, and then we're going to start, just keeping everything on pace and all that. So the amazing thing is not Chuck jumping through the windshield, it's Chuck stopping the car with sheer mind power. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. There could be some Empire in here. We're not sure. I mean, I assume they're going to be playing a couple different races in these matches, so you guys will see probably some diversity. But again, this is a competitive tournament, so you guys are going to probably be seeing the, you know, the highest tier of play. No, you're not late. Yes, I have seen those clips, David Hendrickson. Those clips are so funny. Oh my gosh. Chuck Norris masquerading in the car masses. So Romulan Dog says, top of bracket bans faction for the round and picks factions. Oh, okay, cool, cool. They declare a restricted race. Interesting. Well, Chuck is a screen blocker to make sure that the gentleman, because I'm only showing Soothsayer's army, because in the current spectator situation, I can only see one of the armies, right? So I put up the screen blocker just to make sure that his opponent, Crabling, couldn't like look at his army. Yeah. So he's just blocking the army selection. I don't think we're going to see Skaven at the higher echelon of play here, considering we're in like the finals of a competitive tournament. Skaven are just a little bit weak, I think. It's interesting because when we went to Creative Assembly's office for the Ever Chosen tournament, we were talking about like, hey, what factions? You know, they were actually talking to us about the factions that have the worst win rates, and Skaven was actually one that was really struggling right now. So, hey, what is that? Socrates? Socrates. Hey, thank you, man, for the €10 donation. Really appreciate it. Getting the ball rolling with Chef Ainsley. I like it. No, I didn't get sponsored by, but thank you so much for the donation, man. Really appreciate it. Very wise, Socrates. Yes, he's in the corner just rubbing that meat. Yeah, we'll be getting started soon though. No worries, guys. No worries. I think in the matchup, I don't know. I mean, I think Dark Elves are just such a damn strong faction. So are Wood Elves. Wood Elves are a little bit more micro-intensive. They're less forgiving. Like you have to be, if you get caught with like your expensive archers and stuff, it can be really bad. Whereas like Dark Elves, if you lose a unit here and there, it's like not going to be the end of the world. Yeah. Currently it's 0-0. We're just getting started, guys. We're just the beginning of the stream. So just hang tight. Go grab a snack. Get ready to party. And we'll be getting started relatively soon. Yeah. We could keep talking about 80 stuff for sure. I have a lot of that in my repertoire there. Yeah, we got Steven Seagal. I remember his movies. Under Siege. Above the Law. Or is it Out for Justice or is it Above the Law? I forget what it is. Who held this tournament? So this tournament is being held by Shetland Apache. Yeah, he's in chat, if any of you guys are wondering. And he has these quite often. I don't know if you're still in chat, Shetland, but yeah, thanks, Socrates. When the next tournament will be, but I'm pretty sure it's open to anyone to join. So if anyone's like looking to get into the multiplayer scene, like this is a really good way of doing that for sure. You know, the melee Wood Elves can catch people off guard. Like, I remember playing a couple games, like, way back in the day, like, maybe, well, not way back, like 6 months ago with Gobbo King. And we were, like, playing with a couple different builds. And I remember we were surprised at, like, I was playing Chaos one game, and, like, I had all these, like, heavy cav, and, like, he just brought, like, the Treekin, and it was, like, super, you know, it caught me off guard for sure, like, Durthu and Treekin and stuff. So, it's risky, though. It's risky, because by bringing such units, you really have to, like, go all in on it, I feel like. if you just get, like, a random Treekin and then go with a standard Wood Elf army, it's not really going to suit you. Like, you want that synergy with, like, Prey of Anothrama and, like, things like, or Anothrama or whatever it's called and things like that. Yeah, and Dov Plays is also hosting a tournament tomorrow, so you guys can watch that. So, full weekend of Total War content. It'll definitely be pretty fun. I don't know if Dov's in chat. I think he has work today. But yeah, there will be a tournament tomorrow for sure. It's called, like, the Paymasters. I don't know where he has them. If you go to Dov Plays channel, I'm sure you can find it. I don't know if it's still open to join, though. Yeah, so it'll happen. Is it Out for Justice? Is that it? Above the Law was his first movie, I'm pretty sure, Ben. That was like his debut when he was still like really skinny before he became like a behemoth in the late 90s. Hey, Griven. Thank you, Turin, for the quality content. Just found your channel a while ago, but instantly hooked. Love how you explain stuff. That is rare. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. We'll keep the good content coming. Guys, quick question while we're hanging out. Would you guys like to see, what's it called? So, Mountain Blade Warhammer mod. There's a mod for Warhammer and Mountain Blade where you can like play, it redoes the whole universe, right? It's like Warhammer. You can play any faction. You can play Lizardmen, you can play Skaven, you can play like Bretonnia, like anyone. Would you guys want to see that? Is that something you'd be interested in? Hey, what's up, Knights of Turin? Welcome, man. Playing beach volleyball, but saw the stream, so throwing it a like. Hey, Colin, thanks, man. I love playing beach volleyball. I used to play in college. Shetland Apache does have a Twitch channel, which if you'd like to, he's more than welcome to link to here in chat. You know, MacGyver was the one of the 180s ones that I never got like super into. Weberus Maximus. Turin, you're the baddest mother trucker on the planet. Oh man, I was like careful to read that. On the planet, keep it coming. Thanks, man. Thanks, Maximus. I will. Absolutely. Yeah, you guys want the Mountain Blade Warhammer? Okay, I'll do it. Who should I play?
Give your meat a good.
I don't know who to play. You can play anyone. Like you can literally play anyone. You can play Kieselvite. You can play any of the sub factions with the Empire. It's very like well done, right? Yeah, I don't know. You can play the dwarves. You can play the elves. You can play Chaos in the north. Warsword Conquest. Yeah, that's it. That's the name of the mod. Yeah, the orcs are pretty. Oh my god, the orcs look so haggard. You guys have no idea. Like the orcs are so haggard in that. Yeah. It's so ridiculous. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's like Mimi, right? You can do a lot. You could play Chaos. I don't know if like the god specific stuff, but Playing the Empire is very fun because you can like recruit a lot of troops and there's like big apparent enemies like nearby. Dark Elves for demonetization. Yeah, I like Nurgle for sure. I probably want to play Chaos. How about some good heresy? Oh my god, you should see the Skaven models in Warsword. They're just so absurd looking. Oh, the worst are the goblins though. They're just like these little... Hang on a sec. I don't know if I can like pull it up. Yeah, I'll pull it up another time. But yeah, maybe I'll do a poll on the in the community section, and you guys can vote on who we're gonna play. It's kind of hard to tell. Everyone wants something different here, so we'll see what wins out. Yeah, orcs are fun. Skaven are surprisingly good. Lack of cav notwithstanding. Okay, yeah, Skaven don't have the cav obviously. The mod is called Warsword Conquest. Warsword Conquest. Don't play the Warhammer mod? Well, I know they stopped updating it, but it still like has like a decent core, right? Okay. Maybe I'll just play like Empire or something. I don't know, we'll see. I mean, it's not going to be like a super heavy series on the channel. It'll just be like a relatively like short-term thing. So armor models are too big to play. Empire army, whole Outriders. Yeah, that would be pretty fun actually. Yeah, you can do that too. You can get like a whole army of like handgunners or thing. It looks like a lot of fun. I played for like half an hour the other night and I was like, oh, this could be kind of like a ridiculous thing to watch every now and then. Just changing it up. That and like Magic the Gathering are kind of the other two, but yeah, we got some exciting stuff coming for sure the next couple months. What other fantasy universe do you think would be a good Total War game? I'd like to see Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings would be my #1 favorite, just because I think that would be really big for the community. It's like Lord of the Rings is mainstream enough that it would pull in a really big audience, and I think it could help the Total War community grow. Game of Thrones also would be huge, and plus, like it's kind of like a mixture of like it has like low fantasy, right? I mean, in Game of Thrones, you could have all the different houses, and they have different nuances in regards to their tactics. But then you could have the Wildlings, the White Walkers. You could have the folks of the Eastern Kingdoms, like you could have like the Braavosi. You could have I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you could do. You could have the Dothraki. There's so much stuff you could do with Game of Thrones. I think that would be like a really smart move, I think, by Creative Assembly, considering how popular it is. Especially, yeah, I don't know. It'll probably come out. It would come out long after the TV show is over, though. Lord of the Rings would be great. I mean, there is the whole Dungeons and Dragons spectrum of things too. Like they could go into like Forgotten Realms and stuff, but I really do think those would be like the popular ones. Yeah. I think you can play as the vampires too in the Mountain Blade mod, yeah. Yeah, I mean Warhammer 40k Total War would be really cool. I know a lot of people are like saying like, oh, based on like the small squads, because right, like tax squads and like 40k are often like 5 to 7 characters. I think it would be cool. Like even if they, yeah, I really do. I mean, because you'd have like guardsman squads that would like have 10 to 15 models. It would be tricky though. Like having like science fiction, like futuristic, like you know, that's a whole new world. Yeah, Elder Scrolls could be okay too. It could definitely be okay. Yeah, it's hard to say though. I would really like to see. Well, the thing is Games Workshop, who Creative Assembly has a pretty good relationship with, has some rights to Lord of the Rings. Like they have Lord of the Rings miniature games, right? They just made the Pelennor Fields battle on Games Workshop on the website. You can play that. So I mean, there is some give and take there. I mean, I feel like they might be able to work something out. Who knows? Dawn of War 3. Yeah, Dawn of War 3. Oh, what a disappointment. I was really sad. I was so excited. I mean, I enjoyed Dawn of War 3 when I played it initially, but when you kind of realize there's going to be nothing more coming out beyond that and they abandoned the game, it was like, I don't know. It was fun, though. I had fun with Dawn of War 3. It wasn't like a terrible game. It was just kind of, yeah. It just was a little bare bones. I mean, especially when you look at it compared to a game like Total War, where you have like 100 factions just like fleshed out with like massive differences between each one. I mean, God, couldn't they have given us like Chaos and the Necrons? Imagine if Dawn of War 3 had launched with like Chaos and Necrons. People would probably still be playing it. Turin. 80s fun fact. Steven Seagal broke Sean Connery's wrist as a fight trainer and choreographer and never say never again. That's pretty funny. Yeah, apparently Steven Seagal's like a bit of a dick. So it's pretty funny to hear that. You want to know an even funnier fact about Steven Seagal? Is the fact that he actually got choked out on the set of one of his own movies, or on a movie. He was talking to like a bunch of the cast members, and apparently one of the cast members on the movie was a gentleman named Gene LaBelle. And for anyone who doesn't know martial arts, Gene LaBelle, they call him Judo Gene LaBelle, was one of like the forefathers of like mixed martial arts. He was like a judo practitioner who like fought in like basically the early days of MMA matches, right? So Steven Seagal was like, you know, I guess they had some sort of not confrontation, but Steven Seagal's like, oh, I can get out of any of your holds, like whatever, like, you know, I can use my Aikido to escape your grip, right? So Gene LeBell puts him in like a classic like rear naked choke, and just puts him out, like puts him out cold, chokes out Steven Seagal, and apparently Steven Seagal like shat his pants, like there was like a court thing where like Steven Seagal like told him he couldn't talk about it, but of course it leaked. There was other people there, right? So yeah, it's hilarious. Aikido is such a joke. Anyways, it's really, really funny. That's like one of my favorite stories. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it happened. There's like many people like saying like, yeah, I was there, it happened, including Gene LeBell. I'm pretty sure he eventually started telling people about it. Yeah, Dawn of War 2 and 1. I'm kind of sad I missed out on those. I'm not sure when the match is going to start. We're just kind of hanging out and waiting for the other semis to start. Okay, got it. Infinite Wanderer. I'll probably start with one of those territories that you suggested. Tournament should be starting soon. We're just waiting on some of the other quarterfinals to finish up. I was just checking chat to see. I'll go ahead and check the Discord and see where we're at and everything. But yeah, just hang tight, guys. We'll be getting started soon. Oh, they actually went to a game 3, so that's what it was. So that's why they're fighting their last game right now. Yeah, it's treason then. Yeah, so they're just finishing up their last one right now. I mean, I could have jumped over and casted that one, but we're already here. We already have the scoreboard set up and everything, so we'll just kind of hang tight. But once we do get this started, it'll be a pretty quick process here. Dawn of War Soulstorm. I don't know. It's tricky. Those like early RTS games are very micro intensive, and not that I can't handle it, but I like to like put all my micro and my like wrist strength into playing Total War. 40k RTS game would, oh man, I would love a really good 40k RTS. I've been getting so into it. Lately I've been building Mortarion actually. Yeah, I'll be doing Age of Empires 4 on the channel for sure. I will be doing Age of Empires 4. Other games I'll be doing quite heavily when they do come out is the Mountain Blade. So Bannerlord, I'll be doing that as well. Yeah. Yeah. So those are kind of the big two. Total War is going to be like the focal point of my channel. I'd like to have at least 60-70% of my content always be Total War related, and then but if there's other big RTS games that are also very popular and fun to play, I would like to branch out to those. So Age of Empires 4 is going to be one that I really hope isn't a dud, and then also Bannerlord. I think it's going to be so much fun. Just like the multiplayer in Bannerlord is so ridiculous, and then also the campaigns and stuff will be great. So. Yeah, the painting's a little bit hard on me because I have my wrist problem, but yeah, it's not too bad. Oh yeah, the new Mountain Blade. Well, they just released a bunch of footage of that actually. You can like watch it and everything. Three Kingdoms? Yeah, I'll be doing Three Kingdoms for sure. I'll be doing a bit of a campaign gameplay in Three Kingdoms as well. But more so, I really want to do like head-to-head with all that. Okay. Yeah, we'll let them know to start. Hey guys. Hetland said you two can start. All right, Soothsayer's going to be locking up. It's time, guys. So we've had our 30 minutes to chat and talk about ridiculous shit, and now it's time to get down to business and do it. Yes. Good luck. Have fun. Okay, Soothsayer looks like he's ready. Hopefully, Crabbling isn't AFK. I could shoot him a direct message. Maybe we'll get him on like Twitter or something. Not Twitter, Discord. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one though. I'm excited. I didn't try Frostpunk, no. The Three Kingdoms demo was pretty fun actually. Like the battle felt cool. Like I really like the dueling, and it's pretty micro intensive. Like you have to be pretty on top of your formations because each unit has 3 formations, which make a huge difference. They like multiply your like defensive characteristics against certain things like huge margins. So it's really important to like do that as well. Crabbling, I think he's probably still picking his army. Let's see. We can let him know. I'll shoot him a message on Discord. We'll see. Yeah, guys, we're just getting started with the first match here. Yeah, I know, guys. It's going to be good. And for anyone who's watching this after the fact, of course, I will put timestamps for the start of the games and everything. What do you want, Udal? You want me to say that, or are you just saying you want that to happen in these games? This is a best of 3, and then the finals, which will be the third set of games we cast today, will be a best of 5. So we have a little bit of push in there. Cool. Lady Turin will be back. She went to the store. I think she just got back, actually. Yeah, so I'm sure she'll be jumping in chat to hang out with you guys and everything. We'll be good. I don't know if Crabling's here. He might be AFK. He might be lurking in the shadows. Hiding in the night. Or he's just picking the most dynamic, complex Wood Elf army we've ever seen. Soothsayer's army looks pretty good, though. Yeah, it's solid. It's definitely solid. I mean, Dark Elf's got so much good stuff with the Queen of the Crone. Like, Doomfire Warlocks are such a goddamn good unit. You guys want Wookiee? I'll get him. Yeah, I'm the only one spectating this game. The other spectators are going to be jumping in after the first game here. I haven't played that Titanic Tuna, but I did see. I remember when that came out. I think I got an email about it, actually. Oh, okay. So Crabling is finishing something with his army. He's going extra complex. Steven Seagal is watching the stream, and he just disliked it when I told the story. Yeah, maybe I can find a link to that. Maybe I'll minimize and see if I can find that real quick. Hold on. Hey, we got Mr. Erlinson. Thank you for the donation. He says, thanks, Turin. You make my day. Hey, you're welcome, man. Yeah, appreciate it. Well, I'm glad to have made your day. Hopefully we'll give you some solid entertainment for the next 2 or 3 hours. And then you can kind of wrap it up, call it a night, hit the hay, you know, do your thing.
Spicy meat.
My ideal day there. Yeah, I think the camera's going to be fine because it won't be blocking the unit cards down there on the right-hand side. I've never actually played Crabling. Oh, it looks like Crabling readied up, and then he's baiting the ready, and it is time for the King's Cup number 5, guys. We're going in. We're going in hard. We're going to have a good time. And we are on the Iron Mountain Pass, which is a pretty cool map. It's one of the few Dark Elf maps that's actually playable. Yeah. I have there's some bird that just sits behind my window and makes troll sounds. Thankfully, you guys can't hear it, but man, it is, well, Wood Elves have been losing a lot in my channel. I just have a bit of a thing about, just crushing Wood Elves. Oh, man. So whenever anyone sends me a replay of, heavy cav riding down Wood Elves, I'm like, yes, good, Anakin, good. So let us go ahead and get Chuck Norris off. So Chuck Norris, him and his burger can go. We're here with Game 1 in the semifinals of the King's Cup. So for the armies of Soothsayer, he's going to be playing the Dark Elves. He does, like we predicted, have some heavy cav. I think he has some Cold One Knights. So Cold One Knights basically a good counter against Wild Riders. With the 90 armor and the anti-large, they're going to be able to basically just beat down Wild Riders and not take too much damage in return. So definitely a pretty solid choice there for Soothsayer. On top of that, he does have a couple groups of the Doomfire Warlocks. So these guys do take some damage from the Wild Riders, but they also give it back. They have poison. Plus, more importantly, they have supporting abilities. So for example, if you use Word of Pain right before you're about to charge, you can also use it to lower accuracy on a group of Way Watchers, so it gives you a ton of utility. So he does have these Slaanesha's Harvesters, Doomfire Warlocks, so 2 groups of those. He does also have some Dark Riders lurking around somewhere, so having 1 group of Dark Riders is pretty good just to kind of chase down archers and just be annoying. It's like an extra thing your opponent has to deal with if you have the micro. For his main infantry corps, Dreadspears in the front line, pretty solid choice. They can hold up with their melee defense. They're just kind of a chaff unit, right? Bleak Swords in the middle. Obviously, he puts his swords in the middle because they're not likely to get charged by cav. Witch Elves in the secondary line with a couple groups of the Sisters of Slaughter, which are very, very powerful. Also very weak against missiles, though. These guys have physical resist, and of course, Wood Elves do have some pretty solid magic missiles here. You can see the Deepwood Scouts. Swift Shiver Shards do magic damage. Going to be pretty ideal for melting these Sisters. On top of that, yeah, I think that's it. For his Lord, he decided to go very, very cheap, and this is kind of a common trend. If you just get the Supreme Sorcerers stripped down to almost no spells, it only costs 800 gold. It's pretty crazy. So the Supreme Sorcerers here are just going to be using Fate of Una probably on some of the expensive cav, or some other, archer units, or, Way Watchers, whatever. Most likely on Wild Riders. That's probably the best choice there. And that's pretty much it for Soothsayer. Definitely a very solid army. Has a lot of pressure tools, has plenty of anti-large. He has Rampage with the Witch Elves, but the Wood Elves definitely have answers. So for the Wood Elves, up in the sky, Mr. Crab has the Glade Lord with the Prey of Anathrama on a dragon, actually. So the dragon's going to give him some stopping power. He has to be careful not to get Rampage, though. He does also have a Spellsinger with the Lore Beast, so Amber Spear is a really good sniping ability. So this thing actually does a ton of damage. If you can get a direct hit on the Sorceress, it could do some work for sure. He does have a Flock of Doom. For his main army, he has some archers. He has 2 Way Watchers, which are going to be used to drag down heavy cav, go after high-value targets. And to get rid of the chaff and the witch elves, he does have Deepwood Scouts with the Swift Shiver Shards. These guys are like specialists at killing lightly armored infantry. They're really, really good at that. Dryads in the entire front line. He does have 2 groups of Wild Riders, and that is pretty much it, guys. So pretty cool army here. And yeah, I don't know. I'm digging it. He looks like he's ready to go. He's got the high ground, which always is, as we've learned from the Star Wars prequels, is always a good thing here. But yeah, the Dragon's a pretty cool pick as well. Those breath attacks could be quite useful for melting down, you know, blobs of infantry and all sorts of stuff like that. So no predictions yet. I mean, Soothsayer is a beast, but of course, from what I've seen in chat, Crab is also quite a tyrant. I don't think he's AFK. It looks like he did set up this army in this manner. I mean, it's pretty symmetrical. So Way Watchers are here. Looks like everything's good to go. So yeah, start when ready. Oh, looks like they already started. All right, so the battle's underway. The Dark Elves are going to advance immediately. They're going to have to push up the hill here, which is a little bit unfortunate. And you can actually see that Soothsayer. He grabs his Witch Elves as well as his Sisters of Slaughter and pulls them back. So he's trying to make sure the initial ammunition is wasted on the Dread Spears, which is really good because Dread Spears do have silver shields, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they do, as well as Bleak Swords. So very, very conservative play here. And what he's going to do is he's going to wait till he can get a wraparound with the far side. So he's going to send like all these troops around here, like the Witch Elves, and push up and around. And once they get closer, he'll then send these guys in. Looks like there's going to be an Amber Spear going down. So here comes the Amber Spear coming from the Spellslinger. Check it out. Ooh, it's going to be a direct hit. That's some really good damage right there. And if the Dragon honestly just sits and shoots and a Prey of Anathrama, this is dangerous. Soothsayer's, yeah, he wants to keep this Death Sorcerer back here. Like, be very, very careful. The Spears in the front line have engaged. They took a charge from the Wild Riders. And the Dryads are actually going to beat them down really badly. So now the Witch Elves and the other troops need to get in there really quickly. You can see the Bleak Swords, man, just getting wrecked by the charges of the Wild Riders. But a good Fate Abuna going down, but he needs to be very cautious with the Supreme Sorceress. You can see that Crab is going to be chasing it and trying to snipe it out with his Lord. In the back, you can see the Dark Riders are going to be sweeping in. The Sisters are pushing in as well. So this is going to be pretty good. The Dark Riders are charging the Wild Riders, which is a little bit dicey, but there is a Fate Abuna effect here. But yeah, I don't know. He needs to get those Doomfire Warlocks over there. And you can also see Mr. Crab is going to be pulling back the Dryads to help out. So frontline engagement, it's going okay. The initial engagement was not so good for the Dark Elves, but now that the Witch Elves have gotten in there, but ooh, look at this. A nice charge right up the middle. The Slaanesha's Harvesters jumping on those Deepwood Scouts, definitely getting quite a bit of damage in there. But it looks like the Dragon's going to be coming in as well. So something, you know, Wood Elves don't always bring is the Dragon here, but man, Fear and Terror definitely going to be very good against, you know, all these troops here. So the Dryads are falling back. Word of Pain and Soulblight has been popped. The Witch Elves are actually not mulching the Dryads as quickly as I thought they would, but yeah, I mean, they should win that fight eventually. This is very rough here, though. The Prey of Anathrama going down on the Supreme Sorcerers right here, and then the Glade Lord is going to jump over the Dragon, obviously a far superior duelist. But in the back, you can see Soothsayer's done a pretty good job. He got his Doomfire Warlocks, and the Witch Elves around the flank. These Way Watchers, a very expensive unit, have been compromised, and it looks like he's winning over here pretty handily as well. The Sisters of Slaughter going to be able to easily rotate over and kill the Way Watchers. So despite the fact that, you know, Soothsayer has lost his Lord, it looks like he's kind of winning the battle in pretty much every other respect, right? The Wood Elves have a couple Dryads fighting, but all their missile units did very little, and they've been compromised very heavily. The Sisters of Slaughter, the Doomfire Warlocks, everyone else just crushing the Wood Elf back line. And yeah, I mean, the Bleak Swords and Dread Spears took damage, but that's their job. They're designed to take that charge, right? And from here, I mean, it's basically just this Glade Lord who's being attacked by Witch Elves. It's rampaging. And Crabling's actually going to duck out of that game. So very fast game one there, guys. But Soothsayer just swarmed him and just got into that back line. He just got into the cookie jar. I mean, yeah, the archers didn't do much. They needed to be kind of... He couldn't kite back because he had a very stationary army, right? He was depending on the Wild Riders to kind of defend things. And Soothsayer just had Cold One Knights. He had Doomfire Warlocks going up the middle, like debuffing, just Fate Abuna melting the 1 or 2 units, right, that he had to protect that. And Soothsayer's army was just solid. He was able to do a really good job. I mean, these guys took the brunt of it, which is their job. But the Witch Elves and the Sisters just massacred the Dryads eventually, except in 1 or 2 points. They got into the back line. I mean, he just overwhelmed him with sheer numbers, and that was a really, really brutal one for sure. That was pretty decisive for sure. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard here. We're going to update it for Soothsayer, and he is on the gold score, and he is going to go up 1-0. That's it, guys, for game 1. It is a best of 3, so they're going to be switching the maps now and going over to the next one. So I think I forgot my Cold One Knights. Or what happened to them? I don't know. That's funny. They're both talking about like the Cold One Knights. Like, what happened? Yeah, Soothsayer is pretty scary, guys. He is the winner of the last ever chosen. So he's quite a tyrant. He is quite a tyrant indeed. Yeah, we're going to be going to game 2 now. They'll be switching up the maps here in just a moment. I know Soothsayer is really good. He's really, really good, guys. Yeah, I know. That was a fast game. I mean, the Wood Elves just got pincered, right? Just like, I don't know what could have been better. So it looks like in game 2, we're going to have Bretonnia from Soothsayer. So Bretonnia is another faction we've been seeing just like nonstop, just like day and night Bretonnia action. It's absolutely nuts. Yeah. I think we had, was it Never Chosen? Because Soothsayer, when he played Romulan Dog, I think he won 3-1. And then we had a flash tournament on my channel where they actually went to game 5. So Romulan Dog, I think, took 2 games off him and they went to a game 5. But that was, I don't think I've ever seen Soothsayer lose a series, like, overall. Yeah. Yeah. So it's pretty bonkers for sure. So Soothsayer says next he's going to play Bretonia and he's going to be banning the Lizardmen, which makes sense. I mean, the heavy armored dinosaurs like the Cold One, or Saurus veterans on the Cold One, or not Cold Ones, but on the Tyrannosaurus Rex, whatever those things are called. They're very tough for the Bretonians to handle. Next map is going to be Summer Song, which is cool. Yeah. Well, I think Gobbo King, is he in this tournament today? I think Gobbo King played. I don't know how he did. Yeah, maybe he's going to be in the next matches. I don't know how far he got. Yeah. It is the question of the ages. So, Summer Song. This map does have more high ground positioning, so hopefully for the forces that aren't Bretonia, you know, that he can start off on the high ground. That's definitely going to be very helpful against a heavy cav, like forcing them to ride uphill. Arthur says, hey man, good to see your stream. All right, good to hear about the second part. Cool, man. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question, Faust. Oh yeah, that's right. I got to put up Chuck Norris's burger. You guys got to be on top of reminding me of that. He's got to come back and block that. So I'm gonna go grab some water real quick, and I'll be right back, and we'll get going with the next game here. All right, we're back. So Sarmation says Gobbo King was knocked out in the second round today. Okay. Cool. Cool. Gobbo King, of course, always likes to bring fun builds, so can be tough in tournaments from time to time. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of action this weekend for sure. And it looks like Bretonia versus Dwarves? Oh man, this is exciting. All right. Let's do it. Oh man, this is gonna be good. Who wants to see some dwarves? Oh, this is exciting. The Dawe. I hope we get to see a dwarf tournament win against Soothsayer nonetheless. That would be pretty heroic. Dwarves can do pretty well against Bretonia, but I feel like, okay, we got the Chuck Norris burger blocker up. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. We're getting the Jawi, guys. We're getting the Jawi. So Gobbo King says, as it pertains to the tournament, he was buying a suit and couldn't make it back in time, so he actually just dropped out of the tournament. So he did not technically lose. Well, hey, we'll see how the dwarves do. I mean, Bretonia has some pretty good answers. They can just spam questing knights and foot squires and do pretty well. Crab is a man after my own heart. Oh man. You guys are just out of control in chat, and the crowd goes wild. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. For the dwarves, what are we gonna see? Probably miners. Probably gonna see a cannon. I think we're gonna see a cannon or two, perhaps. Maybe some thunders and like onions forcing the Bretonian knights. But I mean, if anyone can handle the micro, it's gonna be Soothsayer, right? Yeah, it's gonna be tough. The time limit should be 40 minutes. Is that what it says? Is that correct, Shetland Apache? You want me to go ahead and tell him to switch it? Chuck Norris once ate a burger with his fist. Oh my god. Yeah, we'll do it to it, guys. Yeah, Giant Slayers definitely help, but the thing about Giant Slayers is I mean, if they take charges, they're still taking charges, right? So with effective cycle charging, they can still take a beating. So, all right, guys, we're jumping over to the match here. It's time. This is Gotham's Reckoning. He's just gonna have like 6 Iron Breakers with Giant Slayers standing on top of them. That's it. Nothing else, guys. Also, time limit should be 40 minutes. Oh well, guys, we're on the 20-minute. They shouldn't need it. Shouldn't matter. But we'll let the tournament admins make the decision if it just gets to that point. When Chuck Norris sends in his taxes, he sends blank forms and includes only a picture of himself crouched and ready to attack. Chuck Norris has never had to pay taxes ever. I like that. Oh man, Chuck Norris jokes. That's like my high school. I remember when those were like a thing back in the World of Warcraft days. All right, so the Chuck Norris burger, he's getting taken out for now. I wish I was sponsored by Burger King. These streams would be fat. Oh my gosh. That first match was really one-sided. Chuck Norris can win a game of chess in only one move, a roundhouse kick to the face. I love Chuck Norris jokes. Like Chuck Norris's tears cure cancer. Too bad he never cries. Oh my gosh. Chuck. Oh, you know what my favorite Chuck Norris joke of all time is, though? My favorite, #1. It's Chuck Norris once visited the Virgin Islands. They are now known as the Islands. It's just so stupid. All right, guys. All right, we got to talk about this now. So, for the dwarves, let's go ahead and take a look at their army. For the armies of Mr. Crabling here, he does have well, actually, it looks like he's going to set up first. So we'll look at Bretonia. So over here, for the Bretonians, in the front line, a couple groups of peasant mobs, which are very good against blasting charges. You basically send in the blasting charges. Send in the peasants, let them take the blasting charges, any other damage, and I mean, it's good. They take the damage. They do their job. It's better than the foot squires taking that initial fire. And Thunders don't have the best line of sight, so you can send in the peasant mobs to take the initial volleys, which is always helpful. Man-at-Arms out in the flanks, pretty standard stuff. Going to be using those guys for their shields. Although it looks like he's not using the shielded ones now. He's just going to be using them to swarm up and around. I mean, they're dirt cheap. They're only 250. For his main line, he does have foot squires. Foot squires, of course, very, very good against dwarf infantry. I mean, they're not like the best in the world, right? But they still have decent armor piercing. They can get through miners, dwarf warriors. They probably trade somewhat effectively against longbeards. So definitely not a bad choice here with the foot squires. But this is going to be the real heavy lifting for Soothsayer's army. God, his name is hard to say. Questing Knights. So 2 Questing Knights here. Knight Errants. So I think he has 6 cab in total. So it's going to be super micro intensive, but I certainly think he can handle it. He's very, very capable dude here. Who's going to be hiding these guys in the forest? It looks like these ones might be out in the open field, going to be swarming around the flank with the far side here of these Quest Knights. But 4 in total, 2 groups of Knight Errants. Knight Errants are pretty good for charging like low tier dwarf stuff, and it's just another cav unit the dwarves have to worry about, right? It's going to be a really tough matchup for the dwarves, I think. If they win this, I'll be very, very impressed. The Fey Enchantress right here as well. A solid choice, Mortis Engine healing, can't complain. For the Dawi, he does have a firing line of Thunders, which are going to be good against cav, but I really don't think he's going to be able to hold this pocket. Like, he doesn't have, like, Slayers. I mean, having the Dragonback Slayers or Giant Slayers, like, sitting on these guys would be very helpful. I feel like his front line of miners is just going to get bro charged and run over by the Quest Knights. They're just going to pile in, and there's not going to be much he can do about it. He does have Thunders here in the secondary line. He has Organ Gun and a Cannon. Miners in the front line. He does also have Norgrimling's Ironbreakers. In the back, he does have Longbeards, and I don't know if he has enough AP, guys. Like, I feel like the Foot Squires could almost solo this front line here, but yeah, this is going to be really tough. I don't think this dwarf army is like up to the task about taking on the Bretonian Knights. They just like don't have enough stopping power. Like, the Thunders are going to be compromised within a matter of seconds of the initial engagement. Like, Soothsayer is going to push right through those miners and just go balls deep in those guys. I want to believe. I really want to believe, but I just don't think this army is up to snuff to take on all those Bretonian Knights. Like, yeah, I mean, the Ironbreakers and the Miners, their blasting charges will do pretty good, but, you know, Soothsayer is just going to simply use the Peasant Mobs and Men-at-Arms to probably absorb those, and he's just going to follow up with Foot Squires. Foot Squires will beat all of the Miners. They'll get into the back line. The Quest Knights are going to be charging. It's just so much pressure, guys. Yeah, I know. I'm really surprised that we didn't see at least Dragonback Slayers because of the slow. But the Organ Guns, you guys, at least you get to see this. Organ Guns are going to be teeing off on the Peasant Mobs here. Yeah, that's good. That's ammunition. If it does go to a long game, I mean, that's these peasants, the heroes of Bretonia, shaken. So they actually stand firm in the face of that Organ Gun fire. The other cannon is going to be shifting over here, and it looks like it's just shooting at Foot Squires for now, which is the best target available. But in the distance, the Questing Knights are going to be closing in, but this is going to be so hard. With the Bretonians, he's actually staying out of range with the Questing Knights, so he's being super conservative here. Conservative. Yes. He's going to get into that cookie jar for sure. But the Runesmith is a good pick for sure. The Runesmith could potentially get the Runes of Wrath and Ruin, slow down the Knights, use the Hammer of Carrick Draz to minimize their effectiveness. And he's still getting some damage, but it's mostly on peasant mobs. These foot squires have taken some work. This is the cannon here. The cannon is shooting at the foot squires. And the organ gun, let's see what this bad boy's shooting at. Definitely should switch onto at least a men-at-arms. Wasting ammo on the peasants is definitely not worth it. It looks like he has switched, but is he shooting at peasant mobs again? I think he is. Yeah, he should really switch onto those men-at-arms. I think that'd be really solid. But anyways, the cannon here is going to be shooting over at the foot squires still, just doing a little bit of work. Peasants closing in. I mean, blasting charges, though, I mean, you might as well... It's not a bad thing to use them against peasants. I mean, at least you're getting rid of just sheer numbers that you typically would have to deal with. So a little bit of dwarven geometry. The problem with having your thunders like this, though, too, is they turn very slowly. Because, again, the whole line has to turn before they can shoot. So it's a little bit tough. They're definitely going to gun down this initial advance of Bretonnia. And it looks like now it's basically a timing, right? Soothsayer is making sure that he can engage the knights at the same time as his infantry. So the men-at-arms are now close, and now he's moving his knights. You can see on the far side here, the questing knights and these other troops are coming in. Looks like the first group of peasant mobs is going to be charging, and he's holding the blasting charges, which is a pretty solid veteran move here. He could definitely countercharge the peasants, but it looks like the thunders are going to turn about face and start shooting. Definitely want to pick apart these foot squires if he can. So here they come, and now, yes, they are shooting at foot squires, which is very, very good. Peasant archer shooting in as well on the Corlers or Thunders, but the Thunders, of course, do have shields and also have 80 armor, so they're going to be pretty strong here. And he is saving the blasting charges, so he's making sure not to use those. You can see these peasants are just running in with their pitchforks, and they're going to start battling these Ekron's miners. So these guys, what does their stat line look like? Oh, they actually have pretty good stats for miners, but they're going to be fighting against the peasants, easily able to cleave through those guys. But the Knights of Bretonnia are coming in with just an erect formation, just massive chub. Just getting in there, it's gonna be just some nastiness. On the far side, the Knights are just basically going to collapse this one formation of miners, and they're just going to ride through, and it's going to be a disaster for the dwarves because they don't have much defense in their center pocket. I mean, he does have Longbeards, but Longbeards can't do much against questing knights. They have terrible AP, and look at this, just like we suspected. Maybe we'll see a flash bomb from Grombrindle here. That'd be pretty good because it would slow down the Knights, but no, they just get right in there. They have an Earthblood. Just look at the numbers. You can't stop this. It's just they're just gonna ride over the miners. Miners don't have enough mass to pin those guys down. Now, if the dwarves had like Giant Slayers sitting right here, these Knight Errants, as well as Questing Knights, would just be getting cut to pieces. It would just be an absolute massacre, but now the Dwarf line is just getting its salad tossed. Those three groups of Thunders, the 2100 gold. He did pop Grombrindle has no fear, which means his entire army's unbreakable, but I mean, it's basically just a disaster at this point. The Bretonnians coming in here, Chalice of Potions. This is probably, yeah, this is unfortunate. The Fey Enchantress just nuking her own foot squires right there, which is a little bit tough, but I mean, it's over. This game is over. Like the Quest Knights are into the back line. They're just going to have their way with all these troops back here. The Fey Enchantress healing is going to be so good. Yeah, the cannons are compromised. The organ gun is compromised. The Thunders are all pretty much dead. And even though the bounce of power hasn't like changed much yet, this is a done deal. I don't think that. I hate to call it so early. Yeah, I don't know why. Like the dwarves can contend in this matchup. I think they can. I mean, it still massively favors Bretonnia. If not by a margin, on the high-level play. Like, I think Bretonnia is going to win 70% of the time, but you do need some Slayers, I think, to kind of fend off those Knights. Like, also, Longbeards with Great Opens are quite good because they trade better with Foot Squires, and they can also do damage against Knights, and they have charge defense. So, there's a lot of options you have. You go with a Rune Lord, you go with 2 Runesmiths, and you just spam the runes on the Knights. You really need to play that way. Grombrindle is just kind of waddling right now. Like, you can see him, he's just chasing, getting knocked over. I mean, he's... As good as Grombrindle is like a duelist, the Rune Lord is such a better pick. Like the Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin can take down a group of Questing Knights like almost instantly. Yeah. So I think it was a little bit tough there. I mean, the battle's still going on. There are pockets of Dwarven resistance here, but the Thunders are pretty much offline. The Questing Knights are just having a field day, chopping up the Longbeards. I think there's a Runesmith here as well, which is attacking the Fey Enchantress. But yeah. Foot Squires are fighting in the main pocket here. It looks like there's an organ gun. There's a crew actually fighting. Grombrindle, of course, he's gonna be tough to drag down. I mean, he does take a while, but the Foot Squires can pretty much just surround him. Some cycle charging coming in from the Knight Errants here, just gonna be running through the Longbeards, eventually kind of polishing them off. Norgrimling's Ironbreakers, as expected, are pretty much perfect health. Bounce of Power is kind of creeping into the favor of Soothsayer right now. You can see it's just kind of a, I think it is, yeah. There's no way that's gonna be a Dwarf Bounce of Power, yeah. But anyways, the Knights here, Quest Knights in the back are a little bit saturated with men-at-arms. They're working their way through these Longbeards who are shaken. The Fey Enchantress also has her Mortis Engine effects. You can see the draining going down on all of these troops right here. And yeah, the Miners just can't stand up to the brute force of the Quest Knights of Bretonnia. The Quest Knights coming in, you can see Dwarves literally just having their salad tossed, flying in the air in every which direction. Definitely very tough stuff here. Norgrimling's Ironbreakers have 88 models. Basically, what this game's going to come down to is just Grombrindle standing in a box with like his Ironbreakers and just slowly being whittled down. So there is a Runesmith. I mean, plenty of heroic pressure alive for the dwarves, but there's no chance of winning at this point. There's just too much Bretonnia. there's too many groups of foot squires, like, and men at arms. They can just drag these guys down. It's Grombrindle isn't like someone who can kill crowds very quickly, so he's going to basically just be standing and fighting here. Foot squires are just kind of chewing through the Ironbreakers slowly, and on top of that, Soothsayer still has a fair amount of healthy cav. He can simply just get really good charges and charge into the back of these dwarves. It looks like there's going to be a Chalice of Potions going down, so the Ironbreakers, let's take note of their HP. So 6,200. Here comes the Chalice of Potions from the sky, and they are now at, let's go and take a look. Wow, 1,100 damage. That is fat and angry. That is so fat and angry. Yeah. But anyways, the Quest Knights and Knight Errants are going to be charging in here, just running over the Norgrimling's Ironbreakers. Here the Runesmith is holding, but it's going to be a bit of a tough effort for sure. I think the Knight Errants just, as well as the Questing Knights, just so much stuff coming in here. Norgrimling's Ironbreakers are holding, but you can see the bounce powers slowly just kind of teetering in the favor of Bretonnia in a massive way. They might even get hit with army losses. Soothsayer's probably going to use some of his tattered troops just to clean up the Longbeards and Miners in the periphery, just to make sure the dwarves, you know, just kind of that stranglehold that you really want to have. So you tend to need the visual of dwarves getting their salad tossed. Well, it's happening right now for sure. I mean, dwarves are flying in every which direction. Yeah, you can see they're just getting slapped up. A couple of these Ironbreakers are holding, but I mean, they're gonna hold no matter what, right? It's not like they're making some exceptional play or anything, but the Ironbreakers here are just getting slowly dragged down by the hordes of peasants. It's that classic image of the you know, the barbarian from the original Gladiator movie, when he's like fighting the Roman hordes and they're just like shanking him while he has that like big club up on the rock. That's basically what's happening here. But yeah, the cannons were just inefficient. The organ gun didn't do well. The miners weren't terribly effective. You needed some Slayers, Longbeards, and triple Runesmith. And triple Runesmith is absolutely the way to go. You go to 2 Runesmiths, you go to Master Rune and Wrath and Ruin, and you just melt these guys down. So yeah, the Knight Errants are going to be charging in balls deep, and that looks like it's going to be it, I think. I mean, they're going to fight for a while, so we might as well just sit and hang out. We can watch. Yeah, we'll see. We'll get some close-ups. At least maybe we can get Grombrindle just getting some headbutts in here or something. But yeah, I mean, the Knight Errants and Questing Knights, pretty solid stuff for sure. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Tomb Kings, actually. Tomb Kings are one of my favorite factions. I would love to play in tournaments like this. It would be really fun. What better than a cast from Turin while doing the loading screen from Total War Warhammer 2? Hey, man. Glad to hear that. Yeah, so the dwarves are just kind of slowly being whittled down here. There's Runesmiths fighting. There's Grombrindle, the White Dwarf, of course, not going quietly into the good night, but there are so many Bretonians. And there's probably still Earthbloods available to the Fey Enchanter, so yeah, you can see the Arcane Conduit has been popped, so she's... I'll do some stretches while we get through this one here. Yeah. I mean, it's not... This game isn't close, even though it's taking a long time. It's kind of like that with dwarves. Like the other day on ladder, I was playing like a dwarf player who clearly hadn't played the game before. He was like very new, right? He maybe had a couple games under his belt, and he just brought like all Ironbreakers, and like the game took forever, and it wasn't close. It was a stomp, right? But like the dwarves just take forever to go down, so it kind of can be a little bit deceiving. But that was a pretty one-sided affair for sure. Yeah. But yeah, it was a fun game. So Soothsayer is going to take the series 2-0, and we're going to be moving on to the next series. So Shetland Apache, if you're in chat, if you could send me the name of the next series here, let's go ahead and update the scoreboard, and we'll get it. 2-0. That's it. That's it, boys. I'm pretty sure the series is done. GG, guys. Oh, I just can't type right now. My brain just is not functioning. Until next time. Armored Rat Ogres would be pretty sweet. For sure. No, I'm actually not going to have to get surgery. I just have really bad tendonitis in both wrists, both shoulders, both biceps. So that's pretty much it. So hopefully I'm doing some rehab and physical therapy now, so hopefully it'll be a little bit better. So all right, guys. So yeah, we're going to jump over to the next game. Let me go ahead and minimize and get the details here. And yeah. I think it's this one. We'll go ahead and check. Okay. Got it. Ladder ranking doesn't carry a ton of weight, in my opinion. So let me go ahead and update the scoreboards here just to make sure it's all good. And I'll go ahead and explain to you guys my opinion on ladder. I mean, it still matters, for sure. Like, top players on ladder are always going to be pretty good. So here we have Mr. Fistech. Yeah, I would have updated these earlier, but I didn't know who was going to be in the finals here. So we'll go ahead and get that. And he's going to be facing off against Xiphos. So Xiphos actually played in our Flash tournament last weekend, was able to win that. So looks like he's coming in with a vengeance. We might get a Xiphos versus Soothsayer final, maybe. Or Fistech. I haven't seen Fistech play. Pretty excited to see this here. So we'll go ahead and get the Chuck Norris burger up. We'll get the red score and the gold score, and we will put this back to 0. We're good to party. It is time. Chuck's here. He is here, my friends. Greatswords, you know, I don't know. Greatswords are a little bit weaker, yes, but I think Empire has plenty of other tools. I don't think Greatswords like need a buff. I mean, hey guys, let's do it. I just can't spell it all. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna grab some water real quick. My voice is getting a little bit parched, but stay tuned, guys, and we'll get rolling. This is the next best of 3, number 2 here. The winner of this is going to be going on to the. Sorry if that was loud. I got so hyped. They'll be going on to the finals, so which will be a best of 5. Yeah, I think Empire is good. Empire is very micro intensive. Harder to play. Dark Elves are certainly better, but Dark Elves versus High Elves, gonna be fun. All right, BRB. All right, guys, we're back. It is time. More Dark Elves. So Dark Elves making a pretty good appearance today. Definitely a very strong faction. I think Dark Elves are one of the best factions in the game. They're just so damn strong. Who are the least micro-intensive factions? Dwarves are probably one of them. You just kind of like... Dwarves are a very reactionary faction. You're always just kind of like sitting and reacting to your opponent's moves. No, not Empire. Empire is super micro-intensive. Empire is super micro-intensive. Dwarves... I mean... Factions without ranged tools are typically, you know, not as micro-intensive, so... I mean, sometimes... I mean, but Chaos still has a lot of micro. You got to be, like, harassing with Cav and Hounds and pressuring and... I mean, there's... Yeah, Dwarves definitely. Besides Bretonnia and Wood Elves, are there any other lopsided matchups? I would say that Vampire Counts versus Chaos is super lopsided. Vampire Counts just like roll over the Warriors of Chaos. It's so hard for Chaos to win that. Vampires are pretty micro-intensive, but also Vampires are forgiving for newer players because your stuff doesn't route, so it'll, at the very least it'll fight till the bitter end, so. And Dark Elves. So the High Elves banned Bretonnia. Which is, I kind of like the banning system. I think it's kind of cool that you can like ban like hard counters. So you could like play Vampire Counts and like, or you could play Chaos and ban Vampires, right? And then you're going to have pretty decent matchups. Soothsayer is in the finals. He won the first 2 games and in a very quick fashion. And now he's on to the finals, so. Oh, the tournament I won? I played in a small tournament a couple months ago because it was offline. It was on Shadow Online Gaming's channel. I played Jonton of Total Brohammer in the finals. Yeah. It was fun. You can go check it out. I won't spoil it for you. Well, I guess you just spoiled it because you said I won, but yeah, I won that one. But it was a small tournament. It was just offline. It was, the players weren't nearly as like high level as the guys in this tournament. I think I could like contend with most of these guys. I don't think I would win, but I think I could take games off people. But I wouldn't win the tournament. No. no, they're better. You know, Zyphos and Soothsayer are definitely better players than me. Their micro is just very good. I have good game knowledge though. That's something that helps me, but I just can't micros efficiently with my game panda, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah, dwarves are definitely hard to play. I mean, I guess on the lower level of play, dwarves are a little bit easier because you can kind of just endure. But in the higher level play, the dwarves are pretty tough to play. All right, Chuck Norris and his burger are gone. We are here with game 1 in the second best of 3 between Xiphos and Fistek. It's going to be pretty fun. Xiphos, of course, won our Flash tournament last weekend, and I think the week before Soothsayer won. So, like, yeah, we have a little bit of a dynamic going here. Yeah, High Elves are High Elves, I would say, they're a decent faction. The Queen and the Crone DLC definitely helped them quite a bit. Sisters of Avalorn are quite good. I mean, it gave them, that was like their biggest glaring weakness, right? Dragon Princes are also a pretty solid cav unit, especially with the Heart of Avalorn from the Trash Pigeon Lady or Alariel. I mean, healing something that's very expensive and tanky is just so cost efficient, right? So you just go in there with like, I still think Fireborn are a little bit overpriced, but you know, the regular ones or Dragon Princes are pretty good. Hey, how's it going, Ion Bully? Yeah, Lizardmen are, I think Lizardmen and Skaven, interestingly enough, are tough to play nowadays. I don't know, the meta's kind of like, you don't see them terribly often. There used to be a ton of Lizardmen in tournaments, but they did receive a couple nerfs. And, you know, you haven't seen them too much. Hey, what's going on, John? Yeah, you've caught it live. So yeah, I got, basically, I'm not playing tomorrow. So instead of my weekly Flash tournament, we're casting this event today. I was going to have my Flash tournament on Sunday, but I didn't want to like cut Dob plays. It was the only day he could like get off, and I didn't want to like step on his tournament. So yeah, so we'll be getting back to our Flash tournament series the next weekend. And of course, I always like Shetland's tournament, so it's an honor to be here casting this bad boy. But yeah, I'm not sure who's playing a Dob's tournament, to be honest. I'm sure you can find out on his channel. Okay. So for the armies of the Dark Elves, let's go ahead and take a look at the lords here. He does have a Supreme Sorceress, again with the Lore of Death, but guys, check it out. So he only has 2 spells. Well, 1 spell, technically. He has the Arnzipul's Black Horror, which actually is a pretty good spell. It's like a kind of a Winds of Death type ability with a little bit of a wider vortex. And then the Purple Sun. Purple Sun, won't you come? He's going to be casting the Purple Sun all over those elite High Elf infantry, hopefully getting some value, but it's pretty cool. I mean, not seeing Fate Abuna or the Spirit Leech, I would definitely still probably bring Spirit Leech at least, just in case there's no good Purple Sun targets, because you do need them to be a little bit bunched up for that. But he does have Dark Riders with Repeater Crossbows, Dark Riders with Shields, and Slaaneish's Harvesters, so High Elves have a pretty good counter skirmish game. If they want to go with like Reaver Archers, they can actually do very well against the Dark Riders, so there is some give and take there, which is pretty cool. Slaaneish's Harvesters, Dark Riders, like I said, the main line's going to be Dread Spears. Does he have the Helabroni in there? Does not look like he has the chillest of Dark Elves. So, where's the rest of his stuff? Yeah, okay, in the back. This is, I was looking, I was like, that army looks really small. So, over here we have Cold One Knights. So he has 2 groups of Cold One Knights, anti-large, armor piercing. They're not going to, you know, beat Dragon Princes, but for their cost, they do pretty well. They can definitely beat Silver Helms, they can beat Reavers, and, you know, they give you some, you know, pressure and defensive mobility, which I like quite a bit. In the back, Sisters of Slaughter here, he has 2 groups of those, 2 Witch Elves, which it's funny because I thought the meta, like, before I started really getting back into the tournament scene, I kind of thought they had shifted away from such units, but Sisters of Slaughter have been in a lot of matchups, even like armor matchups. You think they might not be good, but where is he putting those guys? Is he like hiding them? Oh, he's hiding them all in the trees, which makes sense. But pretty cool Dark Elf army for the High Elves. It looks like a front line of Spearmen from Xiphos. He does also have 2 groups of Archers, which would be pretty good against Sisters if he can protect them. But the Dark Elves definitely have a lot of tools to pressure with. In the back, 2 groups of Swordmasters of Hoeth. So going pretty elite. Very cool to see these heavy-duty infantry. They'll definitely make short work of the Sisters and those other troops. Although, I don't know, Sisters can fight back against Swordmasters, but it's still, Swordmasters will win that engagement, and they cost, what, like 150 more? In the back, Fireborn, Dragon Princes, and a group of Silverhelms. So, and more Silverhelms, so heavy cav force. I mean, these Silverhelms can definitely do some substantial shock damage to those lower tier troops, like the Witch Elves and the Dread Spears, even if they're not braced. So this is going to be very micro-intensive for Xiphos. For his Lord, he does have the Pigeon Lady, Boss Protection, and Earthblood, as well as the Star of Avalorn, and the staff that does give her, I think, Winds of Magic. Yeah, it's going to be pretty good. I don't know. No predictions, really. They both have pretty solid armies. I think the Archers are going to provide really good counterplay to the Dark Riders. I don't think they're going to do a whole lot initially. But if he's able to compromise those Archers, and then he can get the Dark Riders with Repeater Crossbows sitting on the Dragon Princes, that's where he's really going to generate his value for sure. So, yeah. Absolutely, guys. It is time. Let me get my chair adjusted here. I'm like trying out a new chair right now to see if it helps with my ergonomics. Anyways, the battle's underway. Dark Elves are going to be advancing up. The High Elves do have the high ground, guys. So you know how that usually goes. But Archers moving up as well. They do have 180 range compared to the 115 of the Repeater Crossbows. So definitely the advantage for the High Elves there. But again, Dark Elves have a ton of pressure, and they're going to be swarming with the Witch Elves and the Sisters. they might be able to overwhelm, because Sisters and Witch Elves can wreck Spearmen. It's like an absolute massacre. So the Swordmasters are going to need to carry a ton of weight, plus effective cycle charging from Xiphos is going to be really important here. So if we take a look, it looks like he's going to be overloading this flank. Probably not a bad idea, not wanting to like push up this hill here, because this is just a disaster. If the High Elves actually wait for the Spearmen to push up the hill and then they do a downhill charge, that actually does make a bit of a difference from my anecdotal experience. So could potentially do some work. The archers are shooting into the cold ones. Definitely got to be careful. You don't want those bad boys to be rampaging. And again, these are just standard archers. They're very cheap. They only cost like 400 gold, and they're actually pretty cost efficient. So just playing very defensively for the High Elves. The Spearmen are going to be charging up the hills. I would definitely like to see these Silverhelms position right here and just do a downhill charge on the Spearmen. That would just be so good and tasty. But right now he's going to reposition, so he's trying to take away the high ground advantage, because if he repositions his whole army right here and then advances up the hill, like look at this, like he's just going to have to like fight a couple troops. The rest of the High Elf infantry are kind of out of position, so that could be good. He's falling back with the Spearmen, definitely a good choice. Swordmaster's coming for that booty, so you got to be careful. And this is going to be a good downhill charge. Here come the Dragon Princes. Are they thinking about it? They are thinking about it. They're going to do it. They're going in raw, boys. Oh, come on, get in there. Do it. Oh, actually swinging around and getting a rear charge on the Spearmen, so that's actually really good as well, because that's basically going to insta-break those guys, which is really, really solid. Cold One Knights, I don't know, Fistek's kind of in the wrong neighborhood. I mean, these guys are going to get dumpstered by the Fireborn. And then what's going to happen is, if these Cold One Knights get caught out here by these Cav and the Fireborn, I think the game might be over. Like, that's just going to be too disastrous. He needs to pull back. Because they're Spearmen, they're Fireborn, they're just so much better. And then the Heart of Averlorn's going to go down as well, so that could be really bad. It does open up this pocket here, but I think the High Elves are just doing a really good job. They got those Spearmen for free. That was beautiful play from Xiphos right here. Now he's basically just going to be fighting the Cold One Knights, and this is not cost-efficient trading here. I mean, the Fireborn are taking a bit of damage. Oh, the Purple Sun, though! Just making... Oh, man, I totally forgot about the Purple Sun in the back pocket. Just shrekking those Silver Helms and those Fireborn. So suddenly, it's turning into a really good engagement. The Sisters of Slaughter getting in there, just wrecking those Spearmen. So I forgot about that Purple Sun, guys. Totally my bad there. I'm just... Oh man, I just I should have seen that coming. That did a ton of damage against those Fireborn. I was wondering like how they're taking that damage, but the two Cold One Knights are very beat up. Spearmen, of course, are getting taken out by the Sisters of Slaughter, and the Sisters of Singing Doom. They should definitely pile in here and make these guys rampage and just try and drag them down. Looks like the Black Horror is being popped as well, doing a little bit of damage to some of these guys, but nothing to write home about. But the archers in the front line are compromised from Xiphos. He does still have the Dragon Princes. We're going to be getting a downhill charge right here, just wrecking these Spearmen, definitely launching them to another dimension, as we like to say. It's some pretty good HP damage. Swordmasters are piling in. They are out of control, but the Earthblood going down, they should have an easy time cutting through all these guys. Dragon Prince is also quite good in sustained combat. In the back, though, it's getting a little bit dangerous. The Supreme Sorceress who's trying to battle Alariel, I think Alariel would actually beat her up. Alariel is like a little bit stronger than the Supreme Sorceress, but Witch Elves are rampaging right here. Very, very beautiful Purple Sun. That was quite good for sure. Swordmasters of Hoth have engaged against the Sisters. They're going to have a good engagement there. The battle's pretty even right now. No one in a clear state of advantage. It looks like he does charge in with the Dark Riders in melee to shut down the archers, but the Dragon Princes respond in kind. A Word of Pain going down is quite nice, and it looks like the Pigeon Lady is going to land as well. Might as well. She can definitely beat Dark Riders. Not much of a ask there. Swordmasters of Hoth do have the Foz protection, so they're going to be pretty jacked right now, rocking 73 melee defense, and they're just cutting up these Sisters, or the Witch Elves. The Spearmen here are doing a pretty good job holding off the Slaanesha's Harvesters and the Dread Spears. In the back, though, this is really one of the more important fights. We do have the Swordmasters of Hoth who are fighting against the Sisters of Slaughter. As far as kills, they do have 62 kills. They're chopping through these guys relatively efficiently, but it looks like the Sisters do have a mobility advantage with 44 compared to the 26 with the poison, so they can outrun and outmaneuver those guys. They don't have to stay and fight them, is what I'm saying. They should probably like wrap up and around and come in back up into the main engagement. Right here, the Witch Elves are fighting against the Swordmasters. Swordmasters are actually chopping through them, doing a pretty good job. And it looks like the High Elves are going to clean things up. I think the bounce power is slowly starting to go into the favor of the High Elves here. You can see that Alariel is doing a pretty good job just kind of, assisting in this fight, helping her archers get back. Dragon Princes, of course, do outclass Cold One Knights pretty heavily. But despite the Purple Sun, I think that engagement on the far side was still pretty decent for the High Elves. They were able to get the two Cold One Knights as well as pull the Witch Elves into the Swordmasters. But it looks like the Dark Riders are trying to swarm in. They are taking some archer fire. But yeah, it's actually still a close game. The Dark Elves could come back if they were able to shut down some of these troops here. But yeah, there's still this heavy Swordmasters, heavy Spearmen. I mean, the High Elves have a lot of healthy stuff, and they still have the Earthblood. Their Lord is obviously more powerful as well when compared to the Supreme Sorceress, who's like basically a bare bones, like stripped down Lord. But here we have the final engagement. You can see the Dark Riders are wavering. The Swordmasters are coming in. These guys have 166 rock hard kills, just absolute beasts. And the Sisters are charging in as well. There's 49 of them, as well as Doomfire Warlocks. But, the Swordmasters are just going to cut their way through all these guys. And then a beautiful Star of Averlorn going down from Xiphos. He's able to heal those guys up, and that's just going to be so good and tasty. He's healing those guys up, doing a lot of HP on them. And, yeah, I don't know if the Dark Elves can come back from this. There's a lot of High Elves left. A lot of Spearmen, a full health group, 89. Martial Prowess is still in effect. They also have some of these Silver Helms coming back and get a great rear charge right into these guys. Doing pretty good damage against the lightly armored Slaanesha's Harvesters. So at this point, you can see the bounce power massively in the favor of the High Elves, and pretty cool to see the High Elves do well. Like, it's nice. Yeah, that was well played. Those Swordmasters actually really paid for themselves. So, well played to both players. I mean, the Dark Elf play with the Purple Sun was pretty good. I think that engagement was still a little bit ballsy, but nonetheless, it looked really, really gangster. So I'm glad we got to see that, guys. So, well played. Yeah, the Dark Elf still has to clean up the Swordmasters. There's just so much pressure there. Like you were saying, Aerocrastic, it's gonna be a tough one. All right, so yeah, this engagement was a little bit tough with the Cold Wind Knights. They kind of got taken out, but the Purple Sun was really cool as well. But yeah, the Sisters also kind of got countered by these Swordmasters. They did a really good job just mangling those guys. I mean, heavy armor, good defensive stats, anti-infantry. They were able to do really well. But also something else that was really kind of went under the radar in regards to Xiphos' play is that in the initial charge, we didn't really get to see it too much, but he broke a couple groups of the Dark Elf Spearmen for free. So he engaged his downhill Spearmen, then he came up and around and rear flanked and literally shattered like 2 Spearmen within a matter of like a minute. So his micro initially was like he was slowly and methodically like removing units from the map, which was really, really good. So that was solid. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard for our boy Xiphos here. We'll get him to 1, and that's it. All right, so let's center that a little bit. Oh no, we don't want that. Technology, man. Come on. Give it to me. All right, that's good enough. Look at that. Look at that big old 1 in there. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and get the Chuck Norris burger back up. We'll get the blocker. He's ready. He's got his burger. I definitely did not forget about my Silver Helms. Okay, they're talking about the game there. Yeah, that was a good matchup, though. It was a good battle. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Xiphos is really in form at the moment. Yeah, he's definitely good. So a couple people in chat were saying the matchup's usually very Dark Elf favored. So it's definitely cool to see the High Elves represented. Very good cap play with the Dragon Princes and the Silver Helms. Riding through the Sisters and the Spearmen and all that. It was really, really solid for sure. I don't know. I don't know what I think, my personal opinion. I don't play Elf factions that much. So personally, I'm not like terribly familiar with them. I know Dark Elves are one of the best in the game, which is tough. Infinite Wanderer, I certainly will check it out. Thank you for sharing that. Also, big thanks to a couple of you guys for the donations from Mr. Erlinson for the 10 euros, Mr. Maximus, and Socrates. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Helps a lot. It does indeed help a lot. So yeah, guys, I got Chuck Norris up. I got the scoreboard, just making sure I'm doing everything. And also, we have a couple donations on PayPal from Mr. Rafał. If I'm not mistaken. I probably mangled that. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Yes. You guys are awesome. We're doing it. And yeah, Saturday, Sundays, we're going to be trying to keep the Total War streams to those days mostly. Just because I know it's better for everyone in like, the international scene. All right, so they're picking now. So I guess we're going to see what the new picks are here in just a moment. Again, we're going to be on Summer Song. If Xiphos wins this, that's going to be a 2-0. And we're going to go on to the best of 5 finals, which will be quite exciting. Looking forward to seeing a battle between Xiphos and Soothsayer. Both pretty high-level players, for sure. High Elf can kite heavy infantry, Dark Elves. Bubba Bricks, I wouldn't say that Norska is like a top-tier faction. I would say they're pretty good, but... yeah, I'm not bad at High Elves. I think Dark Elves are probably one of the best factions. Yeah, Salem. I like that idea. I'll probably do that. I just kind of felt like my screen was getting a little bit busy with stuff, so I didn't want to add too much like fluff, but I'll probably add something for donations and all that. Yeah, that's a good call. Flash tournament's up to 6 players. I could potentially do that. It would probably have to be 8, but then 8 is like a full 4 or 5 hour tournament, so it's not necessarily like a Flash tournament. I could do that, like another 8-man tournament. Magic D, thank you. Nice high elf play again, Xiphos, my man. Magic D, thank you for the donation, man. Really appreciate it. I don't know, man. Darren Till versus Tyrone Woodley, that's going to be a good match. Darren Till's pretty scary, but Tyrone Woodley is a beast too. I don't know, maybe... I don't know. That's hard, man. I always want to like pull for Darren Till, but I feel like Woodley is just he's just such a conservative but also explosive fighter. It's hard to count him out. I don't know if I would say Greenskins are tier 1, but they're pretty good. So he picked Dwarfs, he banned Beastmen. So Dark Elves versus Dwarfs? I wonder if they can play the same factions twice in a row. I'm not sure about the rules of the tournament, so yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't pick the maps for this tournament, Wolf Total War. You'd have to ask some of the other gentlemen, so. The dwarves are probably hoping they're going to start on top of the hill. Oh, yeah, dwarves for greenskins. Okay, so disclaimer: this matchup, in my opinion, heavily favors greenskins. What you do to win is you bring 6 black orcs, you get Wurzog, and you just it's like so hard for the dwarves to handle 6 black orcs. It's so hard. And then on top of that, you have like nasty skulkers, you have rusty errors, you just have like so much stuff trolling in the back. You can even go with like orc chariots. It's a tough one. Yeah, I know. I'm a big MMA fan, if any of you guys are wondering. So Shetland Apache says, "No, you can only play or ban each faction once a series." Okay, got it. More 2v2 tournaments, huh? So, I had a new format tournament that I think would be really fun. Like, what we do is we do like a clan war. So you have ODM versus CC, right? So each team brings like 4 or 5 players, and you put 2 players against each other, right? And then the first 2, I don't know how you do it. I'm trying to think, because it might end really quick. But basically, the first 2 players fight. It's a blind pick, and then when the first player loses, he's like out of the tournament, right? So then the next player on his team has to go and fight the winner. So you just go until like a team is out of players. So potentially like one player could eliminate the entire enemy team, which could be super funny. I don't know how you would do that. You could do it with like best of 3s as well, but I think like they do that with a lot of other esports, and I think that would be a really fun format for sure. Yeah. So the prize of this tournament, Shetland Apache, what are the prizes? Black Orcs beat Hammers, I think. Yeah. But another choice you have is you can just go with Azag, and if they bring like any elite infantry, you just fade Abuna them, which is so good. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild. I'm not sure what the prize pool is. I think it's like 150, 175 or something. Kind of guessing here. Oh yeah. I'm seeing this build from Fistek. It's looking pretty fun. They do that in StarCraft too. I think that would be a really fun idea, like team challenges. Like a team of guys can go in. Soothsayer would have to be like the last player in a clan. Otherwise, he's just going to beat everyone and you won't see anyone else play. It's kind of like a King of the Hill format. It's more like a team challenge. You could like have them play a best of 3. Like you could have like 3 players from each team and they play best of 3. So then like over the course of the day, you would have like, yeah, I don't know. You would have a lot of games. I think 3 best of 3s could work. Yeah, because like the perfect like sweet spot for a stream, in my opinion, is like 2 best of 3s and a best of 5. Like just in terms of length and like viewership, it's pretty fun. So Shetland says $100 for first place, $50 for second, and $25 for third. 19 squigs. Is that what you guys want to see? Who wants to see Grimgor Ironhide up in the cell? Who wants to see that? Oh my god. Grimgor is so bad. He's so bad. He's definitely the worst lord in the game. Yeah, okay. So maybe I'll think about doing that tournament format. Oh, you did something like that on the 4th of July, like a team tournament? Yeah. You could do, for the Flash tournaments, another thing I could do to make it a little bit longer is I could do 2 best of 5s and then a best of 7 for the finals like you suggested. I think that could be fun. I think maybe we'll do some polls in like the community section of the channel, and we'll see what people think about like formatting. It's like, I don't know how long people actually sit and watch the streams, but I would imagine like it might be a little bit long for some folks if it's like 4 or 5 hours long. Grimgor, hey, Grimgor, oh, Turin beat me with, oh yeah, I did play you with Grimgor last week, that's right, yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool, Shetland. Unfortunately, Mr. Huang, I would play Grimgor for your money. I would dance for your money, but I'm not playing, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Yeah, but big thanks for Rafał and on PayPal. He actually sent some direct donations, so thank you so much, man. I just saw those. Huge. Grimgor is so bad. Like if you beat someone with Grimgor, it's not because of Grimgor. It's because like you outplayed the person in other aspects of the game. He just like waddles, like he loses to like great weapon infantry. He's just this haggard beast. Actually pretty hot in here today. You could watch all day. All right, all right. Yeah. Grimgor just gets dumpstered so hard. I remember I played We Need a Chuck survey. Yeah, Chuck is here. He's here. He's holding the burger. Next week we'll get him from Enter the Dragon. For Gork and Mork. Oh man, this is gonna be good. The Greenskin Army's pretty good. Can't really knock it. You know, it has plenty of annoying stuff. I could happily watch Best of 5 and then Best of 7 finale if you meant we saw it. Yeah, I probably would. I mean, because if it does go, if each game is a Best of 5 and they can't play the same race twice, they're going to be forced into picks that aren't like, you know, common, right? So maybe for the next weekend's Flash tournament, we will try the Best of 5, Best of 7 format. We'll see how long it goes. If we keep it at like under 3 hours and keep that like good pace, that'd be primo. Yeah, that would be really good. Yes, we are on the great lands of Summer Song. We're doing it. Warhammer 3 should have Wind of Beast Grimgor as a large orc monster lord. Yeah, a Grimgor should definitely be like Throg mass, right? I mean, in lore, couldn't Grimgor like take on Throg? It definitely can't in this game. Grimgor is the smallest and the softest to Beauty Smasher. Who won the first bracket? Talaxdla and Soothsayer won 2-0 in our first 2 games. Grimgor just needs to be a large model. Yeah, give him more mass. Give him like some sort of a unique buff to nearby troops. Like an improved WA. Just make it so he gives like something else. I don't know. More melee attack, something. He needs something to set him apart because he's just such garbage. I mean, melee lords like Grimgor that don't have mounts generally suck anyways. Yeah, so that's just kind of my 2 cents. I'm not sure. I think they're still picking their armies. Zypho's probably getting everything ready. Yeah, they'll start. I think they'll start when they're ready. I'm not sure. I'm not sure like how they're managing that. Usually in my tournaments, I'll just tell them to start, but I think they're still picking. We will see, my friends. We will see. Hi, fellow rats and Skaven. Romulan says he'll be far too drunk and hazy by then. Oh yeah, next week's Flash tournament would be fun. So Zyphos looks like he's ready. And Fistek is coming in hard, representing Clan VM. I don't know what that stands for, but it sounds cool. We're going with that. What does ODM stand for, by the way? Do any of you guys know? Caleb, I'm not sure off the top of my head. I could give you the top tier races and the worst ones for sure. The best lord, in my opinion? Ooh. There's some really good ones. Damn, I don't know. But like best legendary lord? I think Wurzog is like super good. The Bonewood Staff is super good. Kolek is really good. Yeah, those guys are really beastly for sure. I'd have to think about it. Marathi's really good. Malekith is really good. Good luck, good luck. Looks like we're about to get things underway. Kolek's a beast. I'm a huge fan of Kolek. He's always a good time to watch. Yeah, Manfred's really damn good too. Manfred's definitely in the top 3. Like having access to death and vampires plus like crazy winds of magic is so beastly. Yeah, I would agree. Manfred's in the top 5 for sure. I was gonna do a video on top 5 best lords, but I don't know. It's so subjective. It's easier to talk about the worst ones because they're just like objectively bad, but the best ones, it's like they're better in different situations. I don't know. It's hard. Yeah, maybe I will. Okay, let's go ahead and minimize and get rid of the Chuck Norris burger. We're good. It's time. Let's do it. Yeah, Kemmler's okay, but Manfred is better. The Red Duke is better. Like they're both way better than Kemmler. Kemmler is like people with good micro can just be like, oh, Krell, I'm just gonna move this way, and he won't be able to catch me. Let's just muck him up with peasants or something, you know. Wolfric isn't bad. Throg and Wolfric are both very good. They're solid lords. Yeah. Nothing can beat Mel Gibson. I'm pretty sure Mel Gibson gets out-dueled by a couple of characters. Yeah, Karl Franz isn't bad. He's not bad. Yeah, Manfred is a really good hybrid lord. I mean, Death and Vampires is so good, and he like literally never runs out of magic. You can bring like Fate of Una, Spirit Leech, Invocation, and Raise Dead, and like consistently use those spells. Nobody can beat the Gortys train, the Gortys engine. It's my hand-tailored build of Helman Gorst plus a Mortis engine in the same situation. Yeah. It does, but there's some that are just... I really like Kolek. Kolek's so awesome. But again, I don't know. Kolek, do most Chaos players? We haven't seen too much Chaos play. I feel like Chaos is a pretty good faction. That's my main faction. That's who I would play, like, in every tournament. I would play Greenskins, Chaos, Beastmen, and Norska, probably. Those would be, like, my choices if I played in tournaments. Probably, I might throw in Dwarves here and there, too. All right. So, we are into the game. It's going to be a classic grudge match, so let's go and take a look at the Dwarves. Front line of Miners with Blasting Charges, a very, very solid choice. Pretty good at just blasting down chaff. They can disrupt Black Orcs, and at the very least, they have some armor piercing. In the secondary line, Thunders, and wow, he's got Iron Drakes. Is this real life, or is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide. He does have Iron Drakes here with the flamethrowers. All right, so he's going just deep in it right now. I don't know how they're going to do against the Black Orcs. Probably not too well. Certainly can roast Squigs, but yeah, Black Orcs just take no damage from these guys. Dwarf Warriors in the back, Dragonback Slayers, Slayers. He does also have 2 Gyrocopters with the Steam Cannon, so he does have 1. No, they both have Steam Cannon. So my one concern about this Dwarf army is it does not have a lot of AP. He does have the Goblobber, which can do some damage against Black Orcs. He has a Rune Lord, which is good against Black Orcs, but aside from that, he doesn't have a ton of armor piercing aside from the Miners and the Thunders. So a little bit nervous for him. I'm not sure how this is going to go. Certainly could take the game. Yeah, it's such like, it's a build I haven't seen. I just don't have faith in Iron Drakes. I feel like Black Orcs are just going to roll over them. So maybe he's memeing a little bit. I feel like there might be some memeage. Maybe he's trying to put on a show for us. We'll find out. For the Greenskins, Black Orcs, it looks like in total he does have 4 Black Orcs, I think. 3 or 4. He's got 3 here. Looks like just 3. Yeah, 3 Black Orcs. On top of that, he does have some Goblin Archers, so he didn't bring the Rustiers. Looks like he's just going to be using these guys to focus on Rangers and things like that. And honestly, the volume of fire can do pretty well. He does also have Azag with the Purple Sun. Won't you come and sing some 90s songs? He does also have the Arachnaut Queen here, which is another cool pick. Queen not going to take any damage from the flamethrowers, 150 armor, so he's going to need the Thunders to like solo the Arachnaut Queen. Like, I feel like the Queen could just march in here and do as it pleases. Like, I don't know what he has to stop the Queen. On top of that, he does have Squig Herds and Goblin Archers over here, so Squig Herds, good armor piercing, bonus versus infantry. They do rampage into Dwarves, but against Miners, they're going to do really well. So, I don't know. I feel like the Dwarves don't have much of a chance here. I will be very surprised if the Dawi win this. The Dawi are just memeing today, guys. Is this an actual build? I don't think Zyphos does anything by accident. Yeah, I don't know. Does anyone like, has anyone had experience with these Iron Drakes being good here? I just don't feel like they can do anything against Black Orcs. I mean, and the Miners in the front are just going to kind of get sandwiched. He does have some overlapping fire with the Thunders and stuff, but yeah, I don't know, maybe it'll work. Maybe if he makes this work, he will be a true hero. Like a true hero. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty beastly for sure. Well, Purple Sun isn't gonna be too great. The Dwarves don't have too much of a bunched up formation. Zypho's definitely a veteran of the Dawi. It looks like you know, going with the layered formation is much better than just having a a simple spaghetti line. So that's pretty cool. He has some Slayers in reserve, some Dwarf Warriors out on the wings. The Goblobber's underway. Gonna be throwing some boulders over here. It looks like the first volley of the Squigs just auto firing. So it does hit a Squig, but he's able to eat the Goblin on impact there. He definitely wants to switch it to Black Orcs. So the Black Orcs need to be taken out ASAP. I'm really concerned about how he's going to take out this Arachnaut Queen. It's going to be really tough to take that thing down with how little armor piercing he has. I mean, the Slayers, I guess Slayers can drag down the Arachnaut Queen, so you got to give him that. That certainly is possible. Over here on the far side, you can see the Gyrocopters are coming in. Gyrocopters are a decent answer against Squigs. The Steam Cannon variant does pretty good damage to these guys, and hey, you can do good HP damage. You can probably rampage them pretty quick, and then they'll just run to their doom. So he's going to fall back with those. Gyrocopter on the far side doing the same thing, but of course Azag is going to go settle some grudges with the Gyrocopter crew here. 110 speed compared to 105 for the Gyrocopter. Of course, Azag can catch them, but it's probably not cost efficient to chase that thing the whole time, so he's probably just going to kind of screen it out here. The Goblobber has switched into the Black Orcs here on the far side, getting some decent little bombs. You can see the Black Orcs getting the business a little bit, but they're okay. They've only lost 5 models. They're going to be pushing in here. That Arachnaut Queen is going to be a beast to take down. I really want the Dwarves to win this. That would be so cool to see the Iron Drakes be made effective. Yeah, anyways, Goblobber still shooting in there, picking off a couple more Black Orcs. Looks like he just hits 1 there. And the Squigs are going to be circling around. The Goblin Archers going after the Gyrocopters. And that's all you really need. Just hit the Gyrocopters or the Goblin Archers. But the Iron Drakes could roast the Goblin Archers. 150 range compared to 80, so it's not that big of a differential. The Iron Drakes can definitely close that gap. Thunder is pushing up. Master Runes or Wrath and Ruin will 100% be going down on the Black Orcs here. We also have to take into account he does have the gyrocopter bomb, so we can get some decent value there. But yeah, the greenskins are going to be swarming right now, guys. It's time. Yeah, the Black Orcs, I suppose, like Aerocraftic mentioned, will die easily if they're isolated, but I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Over here, the Greenskin Gyrocopter doing some pretty good work against the Goblin Archers. It is taking some heavy fire, though. I think the Greenskins need to just kind of swoop in there, just push him with the Black Orcs. They're taking a bit of damage from the artillery. He just needs to push. He needs to get in there, just go balls deep, have some fun. Azag over here on the far side, though, is having a little bit of... He's getting juked a little bit. Looks like he was a little bit out of position. He probably wants to march in there. I'm not sure where he's going right now. Looks like he's just kind of turning around and just yelling in the distance, like, I'm not sure what's going on, but the Goblin Archers are being forced off by the Gyrocopters, which is pretty cool. Looks like the Arachnoid Queen is going to be summoning some spiders, like right out of the gates, and sending them in to maybe absorb the fire here. The Black Orcs are getting a little bit beat up, that one group by the Goblobber, but the other two are going to get in there relatively unimpeded. And it looks like another group of Goblin Archers has started their kind of shot here. So Azag is, yeah, he waited out there for quite some time. He's going to be pushing back in here, probably going after the Gyrocopter, and it looks like the first volleys are going into the blasting charges here. So right now, the flame cannons are shooting in. They're going to be roasting some of the spiderlings. So he's basically baiting out the blasting charges, which is really solid. Right now, you can see that the Squig Herds are going to be charging into the miners, but they're going to take some fire. They're going to get roasted a little bit, but it does a little bit of damage. They're eager. They still bum rush in there and are able to get into the miners, but yeah, the miners might be able to fend them off. It's going to be hard to say, but I don't know. The Squigs should be able to do well there. Black Orcs are taking some roasting from the Iron Drakes here, but the Spiderlings have pushed in. The other Black Orcs coming in at pretty much full health. In the back, there is a Squig Herd trying to outmaneuver the Slayers, but it looks like Dragonback Slayers might have clipped them. Oh man, he needs to get those guys. A couple of them are caught. You do not want to be fighting. This is like a terrible fight for those Squigs. I mean, if stuff like this is allowed to happen, if these Squigs just go for free to these Slayers, I mean, that could give the Dwarves the game for sure. If like a lot of these periphery elements are just given away. Because this is like going to do nothing in return. I mean, he could outmaneuver these Slayers potentially. Not anymore, because they're actually not that much. Yeah, he needs to get them out. He took some serious damage there. But the Arachnoid Queen has gotten into the main line. It's kind of about chasing. He wants to get on these Thunders. If he can get on the Thunders and then send some of the Spiders to deal with the Iron Drakes, that could be quite good. Bounce Bar is pretty even. No clear winner right here. This Azag is able to chase down the Gyrocopter and basically break it off the battlefield. It's a little bit tough, though, because Azag, he's needed in the main fight. He needs to be sniping out things using the Purple Sun, really taking advantage of the magic. The wall should be popped now as well. I'd like to see that go down just to kind of buff up these Black Orcs and help them munch through the main line here. Iron Drakes are roasting some of these guys. They do have a bit of a leadership penalty with the burnt mechanic, but not doing the most damage. Over here, these Slayers are going to be pushing back in. A lot of the Squigs are kind of broken off the battlefield. The Night Goblin Squig Hoppers are fighting Dwarf Warriors over there, which is actually a pretty even battle. But this Queen is just going to be so much to handle. So Azag is finally coming back. The Black Orcs are really the anchor of the army. They're just kind of pushing through and killing everything they're fighting. And the Arachnoid Queen is also doing a ton of work. This thing is just basically... There's not too many answers. The Dragonback Slayers could definitely get on the Queen. I think that would probably be the best use. I mean, they do have the means of slowing it and kind of keeping up with it and just pressuring it. I think that would be very solid. Black Orcs actually getting roasted from the back here by the Iron Drakes, which is pretty cool. And they are taking a bit of damage just from the sheer numbers of Dwarves, but they are making some pretty good leeway here, cutting through the Iron Drakes. And Azag definitely needs to do a little bit more. He hasn't done much. I'm not sure why the Wa hasn't been popped yet. Hopefully he doesn't forget about it, or maybe I just missed it. But yeah, the Wa needs to go down. That's going to be like a game changer, basically, right? It would make the Squigs like exponentially more effective as they're fighting in the back line. But Azag's up in there, taking some Thunder Fire right here. The Black Orcs getting a little bit tattered. The Arachnoid Queen in pretty good shape here. Black Orcs are just going to be pushing up to deal with the Iron Drakes. And a lot of the Iron Drakes are pretty much offline. And finally, the Wa goes down. So a very, very delayed Wa. Personally, I think popping it earlier is better, simply because you might get 2 casts off in the entire game. Azag, he could also land. I mean, there's targets for him. He could just cycle charge in on the Iron Drakes, then pull back up in the air, attack the Thunders. I feel like he's been a little bit inefficient this game. The Azag hasn't done a whole lot. Swipe in and attack the Rune Lord. I mean, you could feast on this guy's soul. Like, Azag has huge AP. He has poison. This guy is just like fresh meat, especially when there's supporting Black Orcs nearby. So we're going to see what he does. I definitely like to see that guy get landed. The Arachnoid Spider has attacked the Goblobber in the back, which isn't a bad choice because it's been doing a pretty good job against the Black Orcs. But Slayers are going to be swarming in. You can see the Dragonback Slayers just piling in with their axes up. The Arachnoid Queen is going to be pushing back on the Thunders, who got a really good volley on them. If you could push the Thunders off the battlefield, that'd be nice. Especially summoning some Spiders here to muck up the Dragonback Slayers, I think would be very cost efficient, because eventually the Spider is going to get dragged down by those guys. And finally, Azag has landed. He's going to be landing right here and attacking the Iron Drakes of Xiphos. Black Orcs still fighting, doing a pretty good job. I mean, but they are just kind of getting worn down through the Master Runes of Wrath and Ruin from the Rune Lord, and just kind of the sheer numbers of the Dawi. But again, I think the delay of not having Azag, and we haven't seen a single Purple Sun go down. Like, I don't think Azag, like, it's basically like he's playing without magic. If he had like Fate of Buna, he could just like melt Slayers, and the Spirit Leech, he could snipe the Lords. Like, The Purple Sun definitely has, like, magic has been a non-factor this game, which is, it's just crippling. And I think that's one of the reasons why the Dwarves are pulling ahead here, despite, you know, the Iron Drakes have been doing okay, for sure. I mean, I guess 14 kills, a bit of HP damage on some of these guys, but Azag's getting in there with some of his Black Orcs are going to finish off some of these miners. The Arachnoid Queen actually getting taken down in the back by the Thunderers and the Slayers. And finally we're going to get a Purple Sun, but I think it's too late, guys. The Purple Sun's going to go down and just, you know, roast these these Slayers here doing some pretty good work. But yeah, it's not... Like, a Fate of Buna and Spirit Leech would have just been 100 times better for sure. So it looks like the Dwarves are going to pull this one out, guys. The Iron Drakes just roasting the Black Orcs. I really didn't think there was a chance there, but look how cost-effective the Black Orcs were. 123 kills. But a couple things. So the Squigs getting caught in the backfield, the you know, the magic not being terribly effective. Azag really didn't find a home till the very late game. So I think there was a couple things like that that were very destructive. Like, the Wa needed to go off earlier when the Squigs were fighting, because the Squigs all basically just got broken and routed off with no Wa. Like, that's huge. That puts their melee attack up to like 50. And with those armor-piercing values, that's game-changing. I think that was one of the bigger things here. So at this point, it's basically just going to be cleanup for the Dwarves. I mean, the Arachnoid Queen is dead. He has Gyrocopters. His Lord's in good health. Azag is just getting dragged down. And yeah, that's going to be it. That's going to be all she wrote for the Slaughterer here. He's pulling back up in the air. He's going to get chased by the Gyrocopters, and the last of the Greenskins are just being hunted down. The Arachnoid Queen, oh, is still alive, actually. So these Thunders are getting a nice volley fire right here on the Queen and just putting this bad boy down. So down he goes. Good night, my sweet prince. And yeah. Yeah, that's going to be it. I think the Arachnoid Queen routing off. You can see the Arachnoid Queen. Did they fix the speed route? It looks like it's still running pretty fast. Because I know the Arachnoid Queen has like a track star sprint. Yeah, I think it still does. It's so funny. When it breaks, it actually like sprints off the battlefield like faster than it actually is. That's gonna be it. The Dwarves pulling it out. I can't believe it. I mean, despite the mistakes made, like, it was still an impressive win with that army. Because I don't think that was like, that was pretty crazy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, all spells are allowed. A very dissatisfied dwarf is now a very happy dwarf. And yeah, guys, we're gonna be going on to the final. So it's gonna be Xiphos versus Soothsayer. Yeah. Yeah, who knows? I might diplomacy. The problem with me playing in tournaments is I think I could contend, but I have really bad wrist problems. So after like 3, 4, 5, 6 games, I would just be roasted. So, like, my hands would just be aching and I would be like suffering for days afterwards. Yeah, I don't know though. I've been doing some treatments lately that have been helping quite a bit. I'm doing physical therapy and a couple other things. So yeah, it's getting better, guys. Did he just did it? I can't believe it. Even despite that, I thought that dwarf army had no chance, but he made it work. He made it work. I can't believe that. That game was just absolutely insane. So Xiphos wins 2-0. So 2 2-0s with Xiphos and Talaxful and Soothsayer winning his other match earlier as well. But yeah, I don't know what to say, guys. I think we summed it up pretty well. The magic use, the Wa being very late, a couple things like that, I think ultimately cost him the game. So I think that was kind of the deal there. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard here temporarily, and you guys can see. So Xiphos with the 2-0. We're going on to the last game here, guys. So we're going to get the lobby hosted, and that's going to be it. I know, Soothsayer versus Xiphos, as prophecy foretold. Dutch Bias, if you send me a direct message on Discord, I can help you out with that. No problem. Yeah. It was a pretty meta dwarf build. It was pretty cool. Yeah, that was really neat. I mean, I think, yeah, I don't know how well the Iron Drakes actually did. I really hope that someday Creative Assembly adds a metric in which I can see the damage done, like you could mouse over them, or like have a different screen that shows the damage of the units, like in just raw HP. That would be really useful. Because I can't really tell how well they did, aside from their kills, right? I think quad Iron Drakes will, yeah, I mean, if Fistek had gone with like 6 Black Orcs, had gotten Wurzog with like the Bonewood Staff and Wa, like I think he would have just rolled over that army. There would have been no chance for the dwarves. But he brought this a bit of a strange build as is, but also Azag was super inefficient with the magic. King Ajazal, thank you for the donation. He said Sooth versus Xiphos is one hell of a Clash of Titans. Hell yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah, we're going on to the finals. It's the finals, baby. Hell yeah. All right, I don't know what Spanish is, but you said gracias, so hell yeah, man. I'll take it. All right. So just going to get the game name for the finals here. We're just going to be hanging out. I like how there's just like a random game called Meats here. Just like... you know, Shepard, if there ever does come a day when... You know what's kind of cool is like, I'm 30 right now, right? I think that in like 10 or 15 years, there's going to be technology that like will straight up deal with my issues, right? Like, give me that goddamn Luke Skywalker hand. Any of that shit, I'll take it. I'll take a full bionic. Like, I don't want to. Yeah, I would take a full bionic arm. So I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of trippy though. Kind of sucks though, because if you're dependent on the electricity and like the charge of it, maybe if it like charged from your own body, I wouldn't want to just have like a dead arm if it like stopped working, like ran out of batteries one day. All right, guys, let's see if the final lobby's up. Sorry, I gotta pay attention here. Back to the main. Well, hang tight. I am Old Man Turin. Old Man Turin. All right, guys. Let me go ahead and update the scoreboard. Actually, I don't know who's going to be on what side, so we're going to have to go ahead and wait and see. Because it does correlate to the bounce of power, so I want to make sure that... Aha! We're in! The person speaking Spanish is asking for subs? Oh, okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get the cheeseburger blocker up. So Zyphos is going to be on the this side. So let's see, red player name. We're going to have Soothsayer, the second ever chosen himself. We have to actually shrink his name because it's so long. So she said. And let's see, the red scoreboard is going to be, this deck is going to be Zyphos. It's good, Anakin, good. And we got to change the score to reflect the current state of the game. Going to 0, and we're good. It kind of like bothers me how like this one is a little bit bigger. That looks about even, right? Yeah, good enough. Of course, the overlay designed by the glorious Lady Turin, my lovely wife. Handling business as always. And we are here. It is I. The time is now. Rise of the Turinator, yes. How many likes for you to speak with a robot voice? Like a robot voice. I don't know. What does that even sound like? That's kind of a tricky one. I mean, I can do probably some ridiculous voices. I don't know. I'd have to think of a robot voice. I don't really have one. Thimb, welcome to the stream, man. Isn't Archeon the 10th ever chosen? So we've got 8 more to go until Archeon appears and plays in one of our tournaments. Yeah, perhaps so. So Zyphos and Soothsayer, definitely Clash of the Titans, guys. This is gonna be a big one. So I'm gonna get some water so I can endure the best of 5, and I will be right back, my friends. Cheers. Bad microphone. I was like explaining so much about like 40K and Abaddon, like you guys were discussing. But anyways, I got the mic back online. I see it is unmute. Just cast the rest of the tournament. To answer your question, we're on the finals. So this is a best of 5 between Zyphos and Soothsayer for first place, with the winner who's going to take home quite a bit of money, apparently. 150 bucks. I got it. Don't worry. I always make that mistake at least once per stream. I got it. I'm back. The delays, there's always like a 15 to 20 second delay. So whenever I make a mistake, I have to live with it. I'm back. Don't worry. Don't tell me. What, you want me to cast it just in silence? You guys are tired of listening to me, huh? Oh, man. We're back. Don't worry. It should be on. Right? We're good? Okay. So, Zyphos. Playing the Dwarves. Again, if I had to look at his build, I would say it's... Still has a little memeage in there. I'm not going to lie, but it's a little bit more competitive, I would say. More standard. Like, this is something you would see on, you know, on, I wouldn't say ladder, I guess, but maybe a tournament. There still is some stuff in there that's a little bit exciting. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream and you want to see this more often, definitely drop a like. It does help. I know that the ones that get more likes typically get more views after the fact as well. So, you know, it allows more people to find the video through recommendations and all that. So, yeah, go ahead and like it if you can. This is now a quiet place of a tournament. I'm just going to start like, oh man, imagine doing commentary in sign language. Wouldn't that be intense? Hell yeah, Ed. Drink that coffee, man. Get Anna to co-cast? I'll ask her. I'll ask her if she'd want to do that for fun one day. She just would want to see Kolek and Skarsnik every game. She would just be like, where's Skarsnik? That's her favorite character, is Skarsnik. She loves Kolek too. Also, I'm a giant Chaos Pony, which is pretty good. Yeah. All right, so Zyphos and Soothsayer here in the finals, getting ready. We're on the Sword of Torgald, which is one of my favorite maps, actually. I really like it. I like the little lip in the middle, and I kind of like the flat terrain, but it still has some terrain blockers, so there's some cool stuff here. Yeah, nothing but Slayers. Dwarves will not break. I don't know if we're gonna see the Gyro Bomber, maybe. No, I don't want to give any spoilers, guys. Dude, I've actually tried to stop drinking coffee. I'm like a coffee fiend, but coffee isn't like good to drink if you have like wrist problems and like tendon problems because it like dehydrates you so bad, and it's just like, oh no, laptop, why are you not charging? Hold on, guys, I gotta plug in my laptop. Trolling me. Let there be light. I was like, had the power plugged into it, but I'm just such a caveman, so I can't see chat for a minute. So bear with me, guys. My creaking ass floors in here, just like, I live in like a bit of an old house, so it's everything creaks. See if we can get it back. And let there be power. Ha! We're back on. Yes. Technology, baby. That's what I'm talking about. So let me go ahead and let the map load in on the Sword of Torgald. Again, one of my favorite maps for sure. Always a good time. And switch the internet back on my little laptop here. Brush this, and we're good to go. All right, Chuck. It's time for the burger. Your reign of tyranny to come to an end. No longer shall you block these screens. I know, it kind of makes me hungry. Every time I see Chuck Norris holding that burger, I'm like, I both feel the inclination to be manly like him and also eat the burger. Just solid advertising for sure. I know. I know. I want coffee. I want it so bad. Tried so hard. So far. Don't underestimate the Dawi, guys. You saw what happened last game when we underestimate them. They come back with a vengeance and just roast everything. Satisfy the grudge. No, I don't really drink booze or alcohol too. I mean, I'm not like, if I go out with people, I'll have a beer or something, but I'm not gonna like get drunk or whatever. Too often. In college I did. I got blasted a couple times. Yes. You could see Balthazar Gelt. Gelt plus double Witch Hunter is really good. Witch Hunters are so good against dwarves. I mean, the massive AP plus they also have Accusation, which is quite strong. No, coffee just dehydrates you in general, yeah. I mean, in like, when you have like tendon issues, there's something else about coffee. Like, a lot of doctors will tell you, like, oh, if you have tendon issues, you shouldn't drink that much coffee. I'm like, what? I don't know. I'll probably start drinking it again in a week. Cries and Dawi, it's beautiful. All right, guys, we're here. The players are loading in the Clash of the Titans here. So we do have the Empire with a Talaxplan Soothsayer. So wow, look at this back line. We have 3 cannons. 3 great cannons. So he's going to be playing that game against the dwarves. He's not going to be trying to like bust into their formation, but he's going to try and out-cannon them. Oh man, this is just bananas. So he's going to spread them out across the map, which is incredibly good because when you spread out the cannons, the dwarves can't like deal with them at once. They have to like go at one, go at one, go at one. It is so frustrating. So this is a really good play here by Soothsayer. So 4 cannons in total, or 3 cannons, excuse me, and then the meme tank. So the meme tank, I don't know. It has good AP and melee too. I mean, it can certainly run over dwarf infantry. He does have a couple spearmen with shields. He has some handgunners here in the middle. Not the silver bullets, actually. They're just regular handgunners. In the back, outriders with grenade launchers. Boris Todbringer. He's got a Jade Wizard for healing, which is always pretty solid. And then I believe he has a Witch Hunter somewhere too, which is very good against the Dawi. So this is just absolute insanity. Game 1 here in the finals definitely has the makings of quite a showdown. So the Witch Hunter gonna get in there. I don't know. It's looking. I like the Empire build for sure. For the dwarves, miners with blasting charges in the front line, pretty good choice. They just melt spearmen and swordsmen and stuff with their blasting charges, and they have enough AP to fight back against greatswords. They're not going to win, but they can hold them. Dwarf warriors in the secondary line. It looks like Thunders. He does have some Bugman's Rangers. No, just standard Rangers here in the middle. Yeah, more Slayers. And in the back, he does have 2 cannons and also the Peak Gate Guard. So he does have one group of elite hammers, which are, yeah, I mean, they'll smash the Empire infantry for sure, but definitely a pretty good target for the cannons and the witch hunters and stuff like that. So King Ajazal, Napoleonic Clash of the Titans, thank you for the donation, my man. This is ridiculous, this fight. I don't know what to say about this one. This is just pure insanity. I can't make a prediction. It's just too ridiculous of builds. We do have Boris up in there. Boris is a pretty good choice. He's going to heal himself, so you don't have to like waste all your winds of magic to keep him alive, like Karl Franz, for example.
Give me a good old rub.
And with, you know, dwarves having cannons, of course. Man, this is just going to be a meme overload. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Yeah, the Dawi are going to have to like flank with their Slayers, but again, they're going to take charges from Knights, and you know, the Empire, of course, is a little bit more mobile than they are. So the Steam Tank, I wonder if Soothsayer is going to take out the Dwarven cannons, or if he's going to focus down the elite infantry and the Thunders and stuff. That's kind of what I'm curious about. If they're going to like just try and kill each other's cannons. I don't know. Grenade launchers are going to be interesting. Perhaps maybe the grenade launchers are a bit of a niche pick against Slayers because they do really well against light armor, and Slayers obviously have no armor. So, and they're explosive, so the Slayers' shields aren't really going to help them, or their missile deflection with the twirling axes and all that. So, wild ass builds coming in from these guys. It's pretty cool to see this in like the finals of a tournament in which something is actually at stake, right? Because it kind of means that there might be something behind it. It's not just a complete joke. Yeah, the Peak 8 guard definitely going to take some cannonballs. But both players spreading out very far. Pretty standard stuff. Yeah, I don't know. That dwarf army is quite fat and thick. Look at that thing. Just Slayers or dwarf warriors and miners everywhere. The Rangers could be pretty useful at counterplaying the handgunners too. Like they trade very efficiently with those type of units. Shetland says he thinks it's going to be a sad day for the Dawi. It might be. I don't know. The dwarves do have a lot more troops. I mean, they could definitely advance and do some pressure. Like, maybe they just leave, like, one Slayer back there to defend and advance. I think they're going to have to do that. I don't think they can sit and trade. So, immediately, they see each other's stuff, and they're probably like, oh, God, oh, God. And the Dwarf Army, right out of the gates, is going to be advancing. You see this? They're just like, they can't sit back and wait. They have to go. They have to go. Like, leave something to defend the cannons, I would say. Like, leave, like, some Miners or Slayers or something to defend off the Empire Knights and Boris. You would just leave, like, one group of Slayers between the two of them. But yeah, you can see the cannons immediately coming in, just cleaving some of these dwarves from the Empire Great Cannons. That's actually the meme tank. So the meme tank taking some cannons to the face as well. But what's really funny about the meme tank is you can actually heal it with regrowth quite a bit. So the hammer, not the hammer, but the tank is shooting in. It does hit another one of the Dwarven cannon crew. Definitely picking those guys apart. The Empire cannons, where are they? So yeah, this is a little bit dangerous. So I don't know if Soothsayer notices his cannon is like walking through the valley here. That is not good. That could potentially lose him the game if this thing gets a little bit overextended. But now it's shooting. Okay, hopefully you realize that now. Over here, the other cannon is shooting as well. This one's shooting. But I'm telling you, the dwarves are going to advance, guys, and they're eventually going to get in there and you know, do the business. I mean, the dwarves have a far superior infantry force. Like, Soothsayer has a lot invested in his cannons and his steam tank. He doesn't have much. He has like a couple spearmen, right? Some Empire Knights. And the dwarves have like Slayers, Thunders. You can already see here Boris Todbringer's taking quite a bit of work. So that cannon shooting in there. The dwarves have 2 cannons left here. The other one has 3. So it's not like, it's not as bad as it looked for the dwarves. I mean, I think that Soothsayer's cannons are going to be compromised by the time like the engagement's underway. Like these rangers are already shooting at the cannon here, which is not good. I don't know, it's kind of looking good for the dwarves, to be honest. I don't know. But back here you can see that this is good. So Boris, the cannons have been abandoned by Xiphos. He doesn't really care anymore. So Boris gets them for free at this point. He needs to switch all of his cannons onto the Peak Gate Guard and the other more high-value dwarf units. The Thunders are just going to lay waste to this cannon. It's going to be brutal. I mean, yeah, the Spearmen, what are they going to do? I mean, not a whole lot. The Witch Hunter should start sniping the Rune Lord, but he has pretty good magic resist. Rune Lords, of course, have, I think they have 25%, like all dwarves do. Oh yeah, he doesn't have the item. If you put him on the anvil, he has like something crazy like 45 or 40 or something. But anyways, he's going to be marching up the hill here, kind of pushing it. The Empire's going to be falling back. You can see the cannon crews have actually abandoned their cannons, which is pretty funny. Over here, this cannon crew is going to be falling back as well. And the dwarves are pushing forward. Looks like there's an accusation going down on the Rune Lord, which is pretty good. He's going to be kiting back a little bit. Boris Todbringer getting some goodies in the back. This is really nice, but you gonna get those? Oh, he's taking some fire. This cannon crew looks like they still have all their cannons functional, so if they do come back, that could be a little bit tough. Over here, these guys, Boris might have been able to clean up those cannons. Let's see. Yeah, they're all broken. So that cannon crew is pretty much offline. He only has to worry about this one. Empire Knights coming out around on the Long War. They could push back in here and take out that cannon crew. That's probably the best choice, like fly Boris. Boris needs to get on these Thunders, like take advantage of how spread out the dwarves are here. But anyways, the swordsmen are taking some fire. Empire's falling back for the most part, just kiting the Rune Lord. Xiphos needs to be careful. He can't let his Rune Lord get picked apart like this. Like, he's going to walk into a wall of fire here, too. Like, if he keeps marching up the hill, ooh, this is not good. Xiphos, man, you need to be careful. Keep him with some of the hammers or something else. And I think he's realizing this now. He's pulling that guy back. Yeah, so good thing he noticed. Because that was basically a kill box right there. But dwarves advancing. They're slowly catching up, but the Empire's just kind of pulling them out. The handgunners on a very wide position, getting the jump on the Thunders. Thunders will turn about face. They now have their shields up, so they're going to be able to mitigate some of that damage. And you can see here that Boris has taken a lot of damage, but he also has the means of healing himself, so he can easily, you know, get in there and you know, he's spreading out the dwarves, which is good. It's a very frustrating tactic for sure. But the dwarves are still getting their due just here. You can see that the handgunners of the Empire are being taken apart. The miners getting their sweet blasting charges right here on these guys. Oh, they're just getting business. They're getting that business done to them pretty hard. So they're falling back. The cannon is still running. Oh my god, this cannon crew is just like pushing with all of their might, like to try and get away from the dwarves. It's so funny. But if the Witch Hunter can maybe break off a couple of these pockets, but yeah, he's kind of getting cornered a little bit. The meme tank should engage here. You can see that Boris is going to be going after the Thunders, which is pretty solid. This is the pros and the cons of playing a very wide Zawi army, is that like it allows things like this to happen, like Boris to go around and pick things off. But again, he does have layering of thunder fire, so he's able to kind of get in there. But oh, look at the grenade launchers in the back. They're actually grenade launching the the Dragonback Slayers, and they're also going after some of the Thunders, the shields here. Definitely should be targeting the Dragonback Slayers. But it looks like these Thunders, are they going to keep shooting at Boris? In the steam tank here, the steam tank, Boris, both cause terror, right? So they could potentially just terror out things. But here comes, ooh, that's a brutal volley on top of the meme tank. The meme tank taking a ton of work. Handgunners and grenades though, picking apart those Dragonback Slayers, definitely some good stuff. This must be so micro-intensive for Romulan Dog. You can see the blasting charges actually destroy a cannon here in the back. Check this out. Or did they? No, it's actually just on fire. This cannon is going to get compromised in a matter of seconds here. He is going to be pushing in swordsmen, but there's still dwarves just everywhere, just advancing at every angle. Blasting charges over here against the spearmen, doing a pretty good job. And the meme tank is getting beaten up a little bit, guys. I have to admit, it's having a little bit of trouble here. The Master Rune and Wrath and Ruin. I don't know if that's the. You probably should have used that on the Cav here because it doesn't do much damage against single targets, but he's just trying to slow it. Empire Knight's getting a good charge, but there are Slayers here, so Slayers are going to kill a ton of those Knights unless they pull back right away. And the Thunderer Fire is just withering down, guys, and just punishing, just giving them the dirty D right here. So the steam tank taking quite a bit of damage. The grenade launcher is still doing some okay work against the Dragonback Slayers right here. Actually really doing a ton of damage. So beautiful stuff here from the grenade launcher play. But the meme tank it's slowly getting taken apart by this this kill box of Thunder Fire. Handgunners are now going to be starting to get some counterplay from the Rangers right here. And it looks like the Jade Wizard might charge in. Oh, that regrowth. It's so ridiculous, regrowth. Oh man, look at the regrowth on that tank. It's just healing. That thing is such a magnet. Boris Todbringer, of course, will heal himself. But in the back, this cannon is still online. The swordsman probably actually will beat these miners. Swordsmen have 32, 32, 28 compared to 18, 18, and 22. I mean, it's a huge differential. So I think these miners are actually going to die to these swordsmen, which is pretty tough. These miners right here need to get on the cannon or chase down those handgunners. That's going to be pretty big. Over here, we do have Iron Drake play. So the Iron Drakes have caught the spearmen, and they're doing some pretty good Christmas roasting there. A little bit of a Christmas ham going down, roasting those guys. So Iron Drakes, for once, are just literally being fed a target, which is pretty cool. Those spearmen definitely should just engage those guys right now. Over here in the main fight, it's super micro-intensive. The Outriders with grenade launchers just shooting in against the Dragonback Slayers, just hitting everything they can. The meme tank is just kind of a magnet, so Balance of power is very, very even here, guys. There's certainly like no clear advantage for either player at this point. The handgunners on the far side are trying to get in position, but they are being taken out by the superior arc of fire from the Rangers. Rangers have pretty good range as well, 160 to the 145, the handgunners. But the handgunners still putting some pretty good pressure. I mean, the Empire's doing a good job picking apart the Thunders and the Dwarves. And the meme tank is just basically like a healing magnet. Here comes a charge from the Empire Knights downhill against the Dwarf Warriors. Definitely not a bad charge, but it's not going to do a whole lot. The Peak Gate Guard are going to follow up and give them the business. The Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin should be used on those, probably on handgunners as well as the Cav, in my opinion. So Boris charges in, a bit of a ballsy move, but again, he does have the support of the Empire Knights. Slayers are going to be piling back in, but Thunders are getting a little bit compromised, actually. These Thunders are getting worn down by the handgunner fire, and Soothsayer is also keeping his Great Cannon crew in reserve, and he's basically just kind of like, as soon as his fighting breaks, he can send them back to the cannon if the fight ends up somewhere else, which is a really, really solid veteran play here. So Boris Todbringer is going to be charging through the main ranks, just pulling back through the Dwarves as the Peak Gate Guard. He really, oh man, he must have such a hard-on to kill this meme tank, like just such a hard-on. The meme tank just rolling through the Dwarf Warriors, taking almost no damage from these non-armor piercing troops. But there's still 73 Peak Gate Guard in the back. Unfortunately for Soothsayer, he kind of let these Spearmen with shields just get roasted for free. They could have easily killed these Iron Drakes if they just charged, but they kind of got taken off the battlefield. In the back, this one cannon crew taken out by the miners and other troops over here. This is kind of the epicenter of the fight right here in the center of the battlefield. You can see that Soothsayer does have his big old pigeon right here. Or Boris doesn't ride a pigeon, he's a proud man. But the Slayers are just kind of chasing. I mean, the Empire might be able to pick him apart. It's hard to say. This game could certainly go either direction. I mean, the Peak Gate Guard and Dragback Slayers are always a force to be reckoned with, but they're down to 12 models right now. The Peak Gate Guard are at 66. Empire has the meme tank still, and look at this thing. It's still chugging along. This is so annoying, I bet. Oh my gosh. The dwarves just having to hunt this thing down. It does have 48 speed. Now it's going to sit and shoot at the cannon over there. Oh man, the dwarves are probably just going to have to form a defensive perimeter, but they still have a ton of stuff. I mean, Dwarf Warriors, Iron Drakes coming back. Boris is going to free up the Witch Hunter, who probably still has accusations. And where's Xiphos' Lord? So right here you can see the Rune Lord is it's half health. Another accusation would definitely be pretty strong here. But Boris is now at his healing cap, so what you see is what you get. Not too many Thunders left. I think that Romulan has been making a concerted effort to really take out the Thunders, but this is a good trade here, getting the Dwarf Warriors to go after the Handgunners, finish those guys off for basically for free. Rangers doing some pretty good Overwatch fire, but they're about to run out of ammunition as well, so that's going to give the Empire the freedom. They have 38 Handgunners here. They also have a Steam Tank right here, and it's a good thing they put the time limit on 40 minutes, like we suspected, because this could be the real deal here. Anyways, the Steam Tank with Talaxla and Soothsayer is just kind of taking shots now. It's pretty much free to shoot at whatever it wants, so it's probably going to start picking apart the Peak Gate Guard, I would imagine. We're probably going to see an accusation on the Rune Lord and some cycle charging from Boris. Definitely going to get some freebies here and taking out the Iron Drakes. But Bounce Power maybe slightly favoring the Empire. It's hard to say. No, it's just dead even. It's like right in the center. There's literally like no clear winner here. This is such a fun have to end up in. But anyways, Talaxla and Soothsayer is going to be pulling Boris back up in the air. The Iron Drakes might be able to get back to safety. They took some damage, but Iron Drakes do have 125 armor. They're not pushovers, so they're able to hold up a little bit and back to their formation. But that's going to give the Dwarves at least some range capabilities, as the Rangers are pretty much offline. The Thunders here are pretty much a non-factor, 14 models. And the Empire does have the meme tank and plenty of handgunners coming up. So the Dwarves are probably going to get picked apart. He probably should use these grenade launchers, because the Dwarves actually get back on a cannon here, it looks like. Oh my god, just look at the crew. They got their, like, why are they all on that one cannon? I feel like they have enough guys to pilot it, or maybe they're not on the cannon. Yeah, these guys need to get back on these cannons. That would actually be really good to get a couple shots on the Steam Tank here. So over here, Boris and the boys are trying to deal with the Dwarf Hordes. The Dwarves are able to catch some Spearmen, should be able to easily dispatch those guys. Dwarf Warriors over here should do pretty well. Boris, maybe just go over here and clean these guys up. That's not a bad idea. Thunder is getting some pretty good shots here on Boris up in the sky. That's really actually solid. Probably only does like 100 damage, but right now you can see Boris just gets a full chub, pops its Foe Seeker, and is going to go over there and polish those guys off. So just absolute madness. The Sunder is probably going to go down right here to the Toad's charge. Spearmen being broken, of course. The Rune Lord in pretty good health at about 1900. The Sunders have come over the hill, so they're going to be lining up their shots right here and taking some pot shots in at the Iron Drakes, as well as the Peak Gate Guard. So definitely some very, very juicy prime targets there. And the Thunders in the back are terrified and probably going to get broken off here. The meme tank, though, is going to be really hard to kill. In the back, you can see Soothsayer, very methodical, is able to use his Jade Wizard as well as his Outriders with grenade launchers to just run over the cannon crew and make sure they don't come back, because that could have been disastrous if that thing had come back there. So, yeah, the cannon's pretty much offline. These Thunders, or Hammers, handgunners. These handgunners should be able to take out these Thunders over here. There's only 15 models. So this is just such a ridiculous fight. Right here you can see the handgunners are getting some decent pot shots. This is rough for the Dwarves. This is like that time where you're just kind of getting like picked apart. Over here, the cannon crew, look at Talaxon Soothsayer, does have his cannon crew running from Dwarf Warriors. So these guys are, oh man, he does not want to lose these. He still has a full health cannon that could be super effective in the late game if he can keep those alive. So they're close to breaking 14 leadership. Are they faster than the Dwarves? Oh, the meme tank of the gods coming in to run over the Dwarf Warriors. So here it comes. And it's just going to get just down and dirty here, just running over the Dwarf Warriors. And, oh, brutal stuff. They won't be able to kill it. The Steam Tank could easily kill these Dwarf Warriors and then probably rout it off the battlefield. So it's just going to keep running through them. Doing some pretty good damage here, just ramming these guys. Look at that. Man, that's tough. And the Boris Todbringer is coming over there as well, realizing the importance of these great cannon crews. Witch Hunter still has a ton of ammo. He's been manually firing it, so super conservative there. I think that Soothsayer is going to pull this one out. The Steam Tank is going to be too hard to kill. Plus, like, the fact that this cannon crew could potentially get back on the cannon here. And, like, the Witch Hunter here is going to be super annoying. He's going to be able to kite and just, like, oh, man. And another accusation going down. He's probably going to take some pot shots right here. 1,800 HP. And let's see if the Witch Hunter gets the 360 no-scope. Looks like he's just going to run. So, saving that ammunition. Making sure to get that accusation off. And it does a couple hundred damage. And it looks like the handgunners here are also able to get some shots. He really wants to pick apart the Slayers, though. Those are going to be one of the more annoying ones. Or the PK card, So right now you can see Talaxon Soothsayer is able to salvage his crew. The meme tank is able to kill those Dwarf Warriors there with the help of some spearmen. So the cannon crew is hiding over here for now. It looks like there's a Dwarf cannon crew from Xiphos in the hills. Just absolute shenanigans. And yeah, Steam Tank running over Dwarfs, always a wild time. So right here, the handgunners a little bit obstructed, a couple of them down in the volley, but not the end of the world. They're able to shoot in against the Slayers, and yeah, they're just picking apart the anti-large tools. Because if he kills the Slayers in the PK card, nothing will be able to kill the meme tank. Like, those are the only things that he has. This thing, he still has 3,700 HP, guys. A really good blasting charge from the Dwarves, able to just wreck those handgunners, just melting them into mush here in the valley, putting them down to 28 models and sending them broken off the battlefield, just running. So, yeah, very good conservative. You know, keeping that blasting charge for a moment like that was incredibly good because those handgunners might not come back now. So, Witch Hunter's back. Looks like the Steam Tank was able to break off the Dwarf Warriors over here. Are they actually... Wow, those Dwarf Warriors are still fighting? That is bananas. They should break here in a moment. -8, and the Steam Tank does roll over the last of the Dwarfs, and the Spearmen should just chase him off the battlefield. So at this point, the Witch Hunter's falling back. He does have some options in terms of his ammo. Boris Todbringer, of course, is just going to pick apart the periphery, the troops on the side of the battlefield, some of the miners and stuff. They'll, of course, try and chase him, but, I mean, every damage Boris does take is something that, you know, eventually will have a long-term effect here. So Boris taking a little bit of damage from the miners. I mean, they're poking him. He's getting a little bit of, you know, a little pickaxe in the back there. Doing 10 damage here and there definitely adds up. The Dwarves still have a pretty potent force, though. I don't know. The Rune Lord, though, could easily get picked apart. I mean, if Boris wants to fly up in the air and cycle charge the Rune Lord, he could easily do that, probably. I mean, the Slayers, yeah, they're still 12. Xiphos probably should grab the Dragonback Slayers and, like, run them with the Rune Lord, just to be sure. But the meme tank is shooting, though. Check it out. So let's see what it's targeting. It looks like it's shooting in at the PK card over here, who are still confident. Boris is, yeah, he took about 100 damage in that engagement there. But there's a lot of Dwarves still. These guys are angry. They are just pissed off. And once Soothsayer runs out of ammunition, so basically the rules of the tournament say, once the Steam Tank runs out of ammunition here and the Witch Hunter run out of ammo, he has to be like engaging at all times. He can't just be running for the sake of running, so he has to be shooting with something. The Steam Tank has to be shooting or the Witch Hunter has to be shooting, otherwise he can't kite. He'll have to engage like the last of his units here, so that's kind of the rules of the tournament. So the cannon crew is kind of scurrying handgunners over here. That looks like there's some grenade launchers left. Boris is just picking apart the backfield, which is definitely very frustrating for the Dwarves as they are out of Thunders. They don't really have too many options. I mean, you could use Iron Drakes to shoot it, but Iron Drakes just have such poor armor piercing. If you look, they do have 163 missile damage, but it's kind of like dictated in a bit of a strange way. If you look here, you can see the AP is like super low explosive armor piercing damage, only 6, but not the best. Damage value shown over 10 seconds. Okay, cool. So the Steam Tank on the far side, it looks like some of the Dwarves are closing in on it. It's gonna maybe start taking some pot shots. I mean, he needs to start shooting with something. I'm not sure about the rules of the tournament and everything, but let's see. Looks like I need 6 cannons, says Xiphos. Oh yes, perhaps 6 cannons would have done it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the meme tank is going to do. It's going to shoot some cannons at the Dwarves. It could definitely charge in there, but there are some Slayers, so it probably doesn't want to do that. Doesn't something have to be shooting? I don't know. Well, I guess Boris is attacking in the distance, so that still qualifies, so he's just going to be chasing those guys off. The Steam Tank here is just still running. The Dwarves are chasing it. They have no way of slowing it down with the exception of the Dragonback Slayer. So if he could take an angle with these guys, 40 speed compared to 48. So he could use a Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin, which is a huge waste, but I mean, slows it down. Dragonback Slayers can catch it. That will keep it slow enough to, you know, perpetually stay on top of it. So Right now, the dwarves might just sit and wait. That's probably what I would do at this point. Stop running and just like sit in the middle of the valley and let the Empire come and like do their business. But the Empire's coming in with a pincer, so you can see the handgunners coming in here. They're coming back. Some of the Empire swordsmen on the far side are going to be chewed up by these dwarves probably. 18 and let's see how many. 17 versus 41. Actually, no, the swordsmen will probably win this. Yeah, they're steady. They're easily going to win this fight. So the dwarves losing the fight over there, and the steam tank is here. The dwarves are just going to push after these handgunners, which isn't a bad investment. Simply because the handgunners, you know, he could chase his contingent off the battlefield, I would say. Yeah, it's a positioning thing at this point for sure. I mean, Boris is still fighting, so yeah, basically he just has to constantly be shooting. And it looks like the dwarves are going to bow out of the game, I think. I'm not sure who dropped the game there. So someone quit. I have a feeling it was the dwarves because he couldn't like catch that in the steam tank. So yeah, that's it. That's game one, guys. That's game one. I don't think the dwarves could have won that with the steam tank and the cannon crew and the witch hunter having ammo and Boris being healthy. It was pretty much over at that point, I think. So yeah, that's it, guys. Game one. Soothsayer pulls it out with the Empire. It's normally a very hard one, but like you can see, it's like a tooth and nail cockfight, like having to like pull the win out there. Oh, bad one. Yes, good. All right, guys, we're gonna jump to game two. Cannon crews, yeah, and the cannon crew sneaking back to their cannon, of course, is always going to be pretty tough. Chuck Norrisberger is back. Going to be blocking. Oh, wrong one. I don't want to go to the Total War Academy. Nope. Sorry, I played that a bit slowly. So Soothsayer says he was waiting for another overcasted regrowth to get the steam tank, because apparently he had enough Winds of Magic to get it off one more time. That was an intense one. Yeah. I always feel a little bit bad for the dwarves in that situation, but it's, yeah, well, the steam tank is so frustrating if you can't, like, Soothsayer made a concerted effort to methodically kill all the thunders and the cannons just so the meme tank would have dominance. Because without those, there's nothing you can really do against it. Yeah. Gobbo King played in the tournament today. Yeah, I think he played in the earlier rounds, but he had to, like, leave or something. I don't know how his early games went, but he had to go buy a suit, I guess, yeah. Going on like that. So let's see what we got. Next map, it's going to be Talabheim. That was so long, I think I need to get another water. Chuck Norris did like one cheeseburger advertisement. He did like one where he like, I can't remember. He like kicks, like, there's a karate kick in it. Let me get some more water, guys. I'll be right back. He say a grudge upon you all. I unmuted the mic like a boss. We're good. You should have just gone triple steam tank. Oh, can't they choose different? Yeah, they're going to choose different factions. Yeah, it looks like Soothsayer's going to play Dark Elves. They're talking about how the steam tanks are so annoying. That's really funny. Yeah. Dark Elves versus Dwarves would be an interesting one, but Soothsayer actually has the same army as last game, so I presume he's just deciding what he wants to play right now. Oh my god, the meme tank was so brutal. It was brutal. It's not cheese if it's against the Dwarves. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If I was Dwarves against Empire, I would probably go with like 2 Bugman's Rangers, like 3 Thunders, and then just like a ton of Dwarf Warriors and stuff, and just trying to advance. But God, it's like against those type of plays. Or you could just get like 4 cannons and just say, "Screw you!" Like come at me, you know. Like that's one way of playing it. I mean, Xiphos did have to abandon the cannons because Soothsayer just had so much more, you know. I do wonder who he's going to play. I'll play Dark Elves next and ban Bretonnia. So the Dark Elves banned Bretonnia, so Xiphos can pick anyone except them. Yeah, I know. I'm so excited to see what Creative Assembly adds in the future for like factions. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not sure Glass Cannon. Shetland Apache can answer that. I know that there's like a banning phase, like where one of them they take turns picking and banning kind of thing. It's kind of cool. Winner chooses first. Okay, got it. Yeah, so we'll see what Zyphos picks against Dark Elves. Wow, what elves again? Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we saw this earlier. Oh man, Zyphos' build is just so angry. It's so angry. You guys got to see it. Oh man. The gyrocopter with AP missile could have pwned that tank. Yeah, but then the gyrocopter is susceptible to cannon fire and handgunner fire. Like, it's going to just get gunned out of the sky. You know, I think that's going to be a little bit tough. Cool army from Zyphos. I don't want to spoil anything in case someone's watching, but, you know. I wonder what else he's going to bring here. Some treason. It's true. Yeah, guys, it's been a good day so far. Big thanks to all of you guys for joining on stream. We're at the 2.5 hour mark, so we've gotten through a couple of best of threes, which were all the previous games were actually 2-0s. So Soothsayer and Zyphos just gave the business to their opponents. Very one-sided games for sure. Yeah, it was wild. Some big trees. I don't know if we're gonna see big trees. I doubt it. Against Dark Elves, I mean, I think if Zyphos did go with like a super memey like tree build, it might catch Soothsayer off guard and like, but like, that's so ballsy. Like if you got like Dirt through a tree man, like spam Azrai spears and Treekin and just like march forward with a couple war dancers, that would be interesting. That would be really interesting. It's Treeman then. One man boy band coming in hot with a fat $20 donation. He says, "Long time no see, Turn. I remember you donated in the Norska campaign." And we had a skin wolf named after you. The wrist is doing good. No, this is a separate tourney. The Flash tournament, so that's kind of the difference. This is King's Cup, so I'm casting it for Shetland Apache. It's his tournament, but for the Flash tournaments that I will be running next weekend. Typically, I run them every weekend. We'll go to the prize pool. So yeah, that's the general structure. I know. I'm surprised I guess we got to see Empire today. We got to see Dwarves, Wood Elves, Dark Elves, High Elves. No Skaven, no Lizardmen. No Chaos. I feel like Chaos has good matchups against Dark Elves. It's not like bad for them. It's still hard. Yeah. Zyphos gonna repay guiding with guiding. Well, we actually had a couple. We had a dwarf win today. We had a pretty good one earlier with friggin' Iron Drakes of all things, with the flamethrowers against the Greenskins. If you missed that one, Dwarf Furies, you should go back and watch it. Yeah, absolutely. If I played in tournaments, I would more often. I would probably just play Chaos and Norska. Probably just get run over by the Dark Elves, but hey, you know what? I would try. Yeah, Shetland says, not Shetland, Pip says he played Dwarves every time and he got to the round of 8. The Dwarves apparently did pretty good in today's tournament. We're deep in it. This is a best of 5. So did I update the scoreboard? I think I did. Let me. Okay, got to make sure Chuck Norris is still intact. He's got a duty to uphold here. I would play Beastmen. Beastmen are one of my best factions. Chaos, Norska, Beastmen, Greenskins. Those are my best ones by far. Turn the dog comment. Anyone who mentioned to turn the dog comment? And what did I miss? Oh, do you guys want Wookiee? Is that what you're saying? Any chance we'll get an auto pick tournament in the future? Are you referring to like an auto gen where the players just get random armies? Okay. So Shetland says that each player had to choose vampires, or vampire counts, high elves, dark elves, or chaos. And they couldn't take the others. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Like tabletop, yeah, where you just have like a well-rounded army. That would actually be an interesting format. Like preloaded armies. Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. Not a bad idea. My next Blood Bowl game will probably be in the next few days. Pillar of Bone, one of my favorite maps as well. I think it's a really well-balanced map. It's super fun. It's aesthetically easy to commentate because it's just kind of smooth. All right. Go ahead and get rid of Chuck. Thank you, Chuck, for your service. He actually was in the military, so kind of makes sense in both directions. When are you going to become a full-time video blogger? Like, what do you mean? Just talking in videos and not having any like content in it? Oh, I don't know. Probably never. Oh, I said Romulan dog's name? Oh, that's really funny. I'm just so used to casting his games. No, it's Soothsayer and Zyphos. I should get that right. Yeah, there could be an autogen tournament someday. I'll probably do that for fun someday. Like do a flash tournament with autogens. That would just be absolutely insane, like the amount of stuff you would see. I've wanted to do that for some time. Maybe in the next couple weeks we'll do that. Next week I think will be a regular flash tournament, and then after that maybe we'll do autogen. Yeah. We'll see. We will see. Yeah, I guess I guess video bloggers are like reading magazines, right? Like it's basically like just like someone writing an article, but in the form of video. One Man Boy Band says we want a Turin cooking show. Dude, thank you for the donation, firstly. Secondly, I was actually joking about that with Anna because I'm like the worst chef on the planet. So I could make a video like showing like how I prepare my food. Like the sadness of the food I eat, and it would really make you guys laugh. Like when I make hot dogs and stuff. Oh my god!
Give your meat a good.
It's like an abomination.
That's it. Nice.
Maybe I'll do that someday. Like once we get to like a certain like threshold.
Yeah, boy.
Of traffic. Yeah, or not traffic, but a threshold, like a big sub number, right? Like I'll do like a cooking episode. Oh my god, you guys would laugh so hard. All right, so for the armies of the Wood Elves, massive amounts of Deepwood Scouts with the Swift Shiver Shards. He does have 3 groups of those bad boys, and they hit like trucks. Granted, like we saw earlier from Soothsayer, he's going to be chasing those guys down. Zyphos, of course. Did I say Romulan again? Like, I'm out of it. Oh, man. It's too hot in this room, guys. It's too hot. I didn't get enough sleep last night. So Zyphos, he has a couple of groups of the Deepwood Scouts. In total, he does have 3. Swift Shiver Shards means they fire twice at the cost of range. They can really melt archers and things like that. So we did see some earlier, but again, they kind of got swarmed. But what I really like about Zyphos' army is that he has a ton of Wild Riders. So he has 4 of those, which is going to give him a lot of defensive pressure. So if the enemy's coming in, he can cycle charge Sisters of Slaughter, Witch Elves, Old One Knights. They can actually put up a decent fight against them. Not the best, but they can at least fend them off. So I do like that quite a bit. He's got a couple groups of Dryads against the Bleak Swords and Dread Spears. Eternal Guard on the flanks. No Azrai Spears. We don't see those too often, which is interesting. We do also have a Spellslinger with the Lore of Life, Earthblood, and Regrowth, and I'm sure there's just going to be a Glady with the Bravenoth Rama, so where's she at? On her horse. Definitely going very, very cheap here. So yeah, that's that for now. And for the forces of Talaxtalan, Soothsayer, in the front line, he does have Dread Spears. He does have Bleak Swords and Dread Spears. Yeah, it's going to be pretty much his entire front line here, which is honestly can do the trick against Wood Elves. It'll be fine against Dryads. It'll be fine. I mean, Dryads will win eventually, but it's going to take a while. He does have the supporting Witch Elves in the secondary line, so Witch Elves, and Witch Elves. And in the far back, he does have the Sisters of Slaughter. So potentially, I mean, you guys saw how brutal the Witch Elves and Sisters can be against Wood Elves. They can really overwhelm and just beat them down, but it's really going to be on Zyphos to use effective Wild Rider micro. If he can really get these guys and, take out the squishy appropriate targets, I think he might be able to pull the game, but Soothsayer is very, very good at swarming. He does have the Doomfire Warlocks. He has Cold One Knights. He has, over here, more Doomfire Warlocks in the form of Slaaneish's Harvesters, and he also has Dark Riders with shields in the back. So looking pretty sweet, guys. That is the tale of the tape for the day. We're going to see what happens. You guys want halflings in the game, huh? Want halflings, yes. Yes, good, Anakin, good. Like they're talking to each other. Ready when you are. Good luck, have fun. The gentlemen have spoken. Supreme Sorceress with Lore of Death, Spirit Leech, Fate of Una, definitely not cutting. He's going for the kill. That's the Purple Sun is pretty good, but these are just like the guaranteed cost-effective spells. You're gonna get your value. You point and click. You get your goodness. There's no like RNG. There's no spinning. It's always gonna do that damage. That's why they're so good. So anyways, right here, you can see the Deepwood Scouts are in a bit of a Vanguard deployment. They're going to push forward. And immediately, really good micro by Soothsayer. He's actually going to fall back with his Witch Elves here. But look at the damage they still do against the Dread Spears. That's pretty funny. I wonder if he's going to use more ammunition, because I feel like this game's going to be really fast and explosive, and the ammunition won't really matter. So picking apart these Dread Spears here isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, they're down to half health. If he just charges them with Wild Riders down, they're basically going to be dead. So getting some pretty good value out of the gates there. Wild Riders do come out of the forest here and from the hills. One more volley, and oh, it's going to be a reckoning here. So the Dread Spear is already wavering from that fire. Swift Shiver Shards definitely doing some work, but a very good brace there, but then they do charge at the last second, so that's just going to be absolute destruction. You can see those Dread Spears just get shreked. The next volley is going to be going into the Doomfire Warlocks, doing quite a bit of work. Bleak Swords are closing in, so these guys need to fall back right now. Man, look at the damage they've done. So beautiful control by Zyphos, just melting down those Doomfire Warlocks. Fate of Una is going to be going down on Wild Riders, but that initial engagement was a thing of beauty. So it's funny how the Wood Elves have like turned into like a bit of an underdog. Like, you don't see them win like terribly often, right? Anyways, the Wood Elves here are going to be turning and shooting at the Bleak Swords, just doing the same exact thing. I mean, they have plenty of ammo, but then they turn and shoot and just melt those Doomfire Warlocks. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, he's broken them in half. So the Doomfire Warlock's getting crushed right there. These bad boys are falling back right now and just going to keep kind of working on Witch Elves, whatever they can hit. But a very good opening from the Deepwood Scouts. Just destroying, what, 500, almost 1,000 gold here. And now they're just going to charge in. The Wild Riders are very good at killing Bleak Swords and things like that. Over here we got a charge as well. 2 groups of the Wild Riders charging into the Sisters of Slaughter. Just some beautiful stuff. These guys are going to charge in as well against the Dark Elves. Bleak Swords don't have charge defense against large, so as you can see, the Angry Rudolphs just like ride them down and get them the business. So, Shaken might be able to even break them off. That volley just actually broke them. So, a lot of tattered Dark Elves here. The fight definitely going pretty well for the Wood Elves, but again, once the Sisters of Slaughter catch up, that could certainly change the dynamic of the game. Over here, these Wild Riders are falling back. Eternal Guard falling back as well. He definitely wants to delay this game and really use those Swift Shiver Shards to get his massive value. So here comes another volley here. Some going into the Dread Spears, the other one's going into the Witch Elves in the back line. Definitely doing very, very good stuff. And here comes the Dryads. Dryads are going to be moving in here. It looks like these Dryads going, and it looks like a Pravenoth Rama. Ooh, and massive focus from the Deepwood Scouts, just doing a ton of damage to those Sisters of Slaughter. And the Wild Riders look to be charging in. They are able to actually catch the Dark Riders on the Eternal Guard, and then these guys follow up. Beta Buna effect is going to be going down, as well as an Earthblood. So very, very wild, brutal fight so far. Sister is going to be engaging with Dryads, and the Glade Lord is maybe going to go after the Supreme Sorceress, but Deepwood Scouts still haven't been compromised. A very, very good sign for Xiphos here. He's able to fall back, having really good control with his ranged units, not letting them get captured. And he actually gets the Glade Lord attacking here, but ooh, this is dangerous. There's Sisters nearby, although they don't have Rampage, so he definitely doesn't want to get his Glade Lord caught by those Sisters of Slaughter, though. They'll do a ton of damage. War Dancers are going to be charging in as well, so we're going to have some action going on here. These guys are going to be chopping each other up. Definitely some high DPS going both ways, but War Dancers definitely do some good damage in that situation. Murderous Prowess going down, though. Really going to buff the Dark Elf army, but this is so solid. The Deepwood Scouts are still online. They're just methodically picking apart the Cold One Knights and these other units here. This is some really, really great play here from Xiphos. Very, very impressed. So these guys are probably going to be going down. They're shaken. Of course, they're probably going to break these Wild Riders, maybe. Wild Riders holding pretty firm. They have 9 leadership, despite the fact they're taking a ton of damage. Over here, a massive volley coming in and just melting those Dark Riders. But the Slaanesha's Harvesters are in good shape. They probably have a full chub coming in. Oh man, they're going to get that charge. And this could be the game-changing situation for Soothsayer. Getting these Cav into these missile units is going to be very, very powerful. So Deepwood Scouts are going to have to fall back. He definitely needs to pull back Wild Riders and protect these, because the Deepwood Scouts are really the lifeblood of his army. But the balance of power is in the favor of Xiphos right now, I would say. I mean, I would say he's in a bit of a dominant position. I mean, the Dark Elves are being kind of corralled and being picked apart on the flanks a little bit. And if the Wood Elves can center the Dark Elves, like in this position right here, and then just kind of pick them apart as they advance, I mean, he's going to be in good shape here. And yeah, you can see in the back, the Deepwood Scouts now just going to pour massive fire onto this blob of Sisters of Slaughter. They're definitely going to take a ton of damage right here. And yeah, just a great game. Just back and, well, it was back and forth initially, but I would say the Wood Elves have pulled ahead. And check this out. So the Sisters of Slaughter getting hit with Pravenoth Rama. The Wood Elf Swift Shiver Shards just tearing them apart. That missile resist, just brutal stuff. And yeah, they are not happy at all about the situation. I mean, I feel like those things shouldn't be able to block shields as like stupid gauntlets they have, but anyways, they're blocking. They do have a block chance, believe it or not. So right here we have the Haggard Cockfight of the Gods. The Glade Lord is going to be fighting the Supreme Sorceress. Dryads are going to be rushing in to intercept, which is going to be great. They'll do decent damage. Oh man, Xiphos needs to pull back. He does not want to get his Lord caught up in that high DPS. He needs to escape right now. Flee, flee, you fools. Over here, the Wild Riders probably should try and finish off the Slaanesha's Harvesters. Looks like they're actually going to be going in. So Slaanesha's Harvesters could have collapsed here, but they're going to try and fight the Wild Riders. Wild Riders will probably win this, and it looks like at the last second he's going to pull back. And Swift Shiver Shards just kind of pouring in. Wood Elves are just cutting apart the Dark Elves. It was a beautiful showcase of the Deepwood Scouts. So what a game. That was really good. I mean, his micro with those Deepwood Scouts was solid. His charging with the Wild Riders was solid. It was just an extremely well-played game by Xiphos. So he's able to come back after that frustrating, relatively frustrating, I'm sure, first game, and clinch a pretty good situation for himself. So that's it, boys. 1-1 in the series in best of 5. We got a series on our hands. So yeah, Deepwood Scouts were MVPs. Wild Riders were really good. They charged the infantry, they tore things apart, and it was just really clutch play. Really, really impressed in that game. So well played to both players. Yeah, it was a cockfight. So let's go ahead and update that scoreboard here. We'll get that that little something going. Now we got a game on our hands. Xiphos taking that one. Get this one. Like the Eternal Struggle. That actually looks decent, right? All right, GG. GG. Yeah, well played indeed. So we'll see what they pick next. Swift Shivered. That was pretty cool. Yeah, that was some sweet revenge, right? Deepwood Scouts, yeah, they were really good. I mean, like, what was cool is, like, those games are so fast and explosive, you don't really have to worry about ammunition conservation, so you can just basically waste anything. And I like the fact that he just killed those Dread Spears and Bleak Swords with the Deepwood Scouts. Like, screw it, it's 1,000 free gold, right? Let's get in there. Yeah, Zyphos was like, you want kiting? I'll show you. I mean, they both played well, but you know, ultimately the Deepwood Scouts were able to just kind of pull ahead there for sure. So Skino Man says, yeah, I missed a couple donations. So Sneaky Brit with the $5 donation. Keep up the great content. I will. I got you, man. Thank you so much. And then we got Skino Man with the 10 euros saying, get a steel chair augmentation for your cyborg arm. Just a chair strapped to the side of it. Oh, man. Then I couldn't play Warhammer. How would that work? This is the best of 5. Yeah, thank you guys so much for the donations. Really means a lot. Help support this multiplayer community in my health, in my diet, in my appetite. I need a snack. I'm getting pretty hungry. I think I'm gonna grab a banana. Hang on, guys. I'll be back.
Give your meat a good old rub. That's it. Nice and hot. Hot and spicy meat. Yeah, boy.
I don't know. I might be getting the pounds and the euros confused. I'm like, it's like sometimes it's a very small. So, Valane says every video put up is an instant watch for me. My gameplay has improved a lot. Will you be following the Three Kingdoms Total War as much Total War Warhammer? So, firstly, I'll probably prioritize Total War Warhammer. I will be playing Three Kingdoms. I don't know how the multiplayer is going to be. So, if it has like a pretty healthy multiplayer community and it's fun and balance, no, I don't care. I mean, balance is important, obviously, but it's hard to balance with that many factions. I will be playing campaign head-to-heads mainly with Italian Spartacus, so we'll be playing that because the game I think is really going to be more of a campaign game. Warhammer, though, is going to be getting perpetual content, so there's going to be you know, DLCs coming out. Eventually, we'll get Skaven Lizardmen. You know, Warhammer 3. I mean, I'll be focusing more on Warhammer, but I still will play Three Kingdoms. Like for every 3 Warhammer videos I put up, there will probably be 1 Three Kingdom video, I would say. Ugh. Oh yeah, I think a lot of these maps are. I think a couple of them are in campaign. Yeah, not sure. Oh, I need to get Chuck Norris up. How come you guys didn't tell me? Okay, he didn't start picking his new army yet. We're good. I played Heir of Carthage a couple weeks ago on ladder. I have the replay. It was like a month ago. I played him a couple times, actually. I think I played him 3 or 4 times. Hero of Rome, you said your country is already a meme? Why is that? You're welcome. Sorry, I was just muted the mic while I was eating the banana, so you guys didn't have to listen to that. So, it looks like we're going to get Norska. Hell yeah. I love watching Norska. Yeah, I did win. Sam. Yeah.
Give your meat a good old rub.
So, One Man Boy Band, thank you so much for another $5 donation. He says, do you think your enjoyment of the franchise is going to lessen once it shifts from fantastical to realistic after they're done with Warhammer? Hard to say. But I think I would be less interested in historical titles. Because I just like dragons and wizards and fireballs and you know, orcs and just eldritch monsters and chaos. And I'll probably still play Total War games after Warhammer. But I'm pretty sure, guys, that Creative Assembly, based on the success of Warhammer, like it's done really well, despite like what people may think. I think we're going to get more fantasy titles. It's only a matter of time. And I will I will always play Total War games, but I really want to. I love RTS. This is an RTS game at its core, right? Well, the multiplayer is like has RTS on. So I want to get into like commentating for RTS stuff, but Total War is Warhammer is my favorite game. So I guess we're creating our own scene, I suppose. Yeah. Norska versus Greenskins. It's actually hard to pick with so much faction cut out. Never saw these guys. So, I actually know how to play this matchup very well for Norska. You know, Zyphos, if you're watching, make sure to go check out my Norska guide where you can learn about the dankest anti-greenskin build. It's at about an hour and 10 minutes in the guide. Yes. Warhammer 2 did quite well. I mean, yeah, it's like, whenever like new content comes out, like in other games, they're like, where's Warhammer content? You know, that's always the thing you see on Reddit and forums and stuff. It's like, I don't care about historical. Just give me, there is a big historical community, but if they made a Lord of the Rings Total War, I think I would have like an erection for like a year. It just wouldn't go away. It would just be like, just perpetual. Like, oh, it hurts so bad, but it's so good. Total War Warhammer 40k would be so sick. I don't care. Give me the Death Guard. I'd be so happy. Zyphos, go look at my guide. It has the dankest build against greenskins. Zyphos is hurriedly reading about the guide just on my channel. Oh, I'm telling you, my anti-greenskin build is beastly. It's really good against greenskins. I think we could definitely get a Total War game about Middle-earth. Hell yes. It would be so awesome. Like, oh man, you'd have Mordor, you'd have Isengard, you could even have sub-factions within Mordor, right? Like Uruk-hai. It would be so fun. I mean, you could have, I mean, there would be a lot of human factions as well. I mean, but the Rohirrim are very different than the Men of Gondor, right? I mean, Gondor, of course, would probably be more like the Empire we kind of see, like more infantry focused. You know, might have a couple like cav units and stuff, but, you know, then Rohan would just be like super cav heavy. Probably play like Bretonnia in a way. Yeah. I did play Battle for Middle-earth a long time ago. Yeah. Oh my god. So, Zyphos' army. Very different than what I would bring, but I'm quite eager to see how it does. Oh my god, he's getting wild with the picks here. You guys should be excited. Warhammer's great, but I mean, when they do Warhammer 3, that's the last Warhammer game. But what's cool, when Warhammer 3 launches, there's probably going to be like DLC for it for like a good year or 2 years, right? Maybe even 3, like from what we've seen from Rome. So it'll be fresh for a long time. So there'll be like, on my to answer your question, Rek, on the channel, I made a guide to Norska, a multiplayer guide, which has builds for every single faction. Frodo as a legendary lord, yeah. Well, the hobbits would probably be more like support characters or campaign characters. Like they would be more like agents, not agents, but like. I mean, Frodo is like an agent, right? Like, you give him an item and, I don't know, and run him somewhere. I don't know how the campaign would be interesting. Would they just have it be like a battle, or would you be like playing out the storyline? Like, Mordor wins by getting the ring, you know, the Fellowship, or is it just kind of a free-for-all? Maybe they could have 2 modes. They could have a mode for like the ring mode, that like you play the classic story. Like you pick a faction within and you play it and you change the classic story. Or it's just like kind of a battle, right? Like just open-ended, like victory by destroying these factions. Yeah. Warhammer's so good. This is like, Warhammer's the reason I started YouTube, actually. All right, Chuck. Thank you for the burger. Thank you for your service. We'll see you next time. See you in the next game here. Frodo would be pretty OP. Just go invisible and prison shank people. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like, you could have dwarves, right? I mean, dwarves in Lord of the Rings, according to the Battle of Five Armies, have a pretty diverse roster. They have chariots, bolt throwers that can counter missile play. Of course, the elves, you could have the different elves, right? You could have like the elves like Elrond and his elves. You could have the Mirkwood elves, different elf factions. You have the orcs, you have goblins, you have Uruk-hai at Isengard. You could have like a Moria-themed army with like a Balrog. Like, you could get hog wild. You could get hog wild, yeah. I think. Frodo would have Vanguard in stock and could spot greenskins from anywhere on the map. Is it the greenskins? Wouldn't that be funny if like greenskin stock was taken away by Frodo? Sorry about this chair, guys. It's like it's getting a little bit crazy here. Nazgul agent spam OP, please nerf. Oh my god. I would love that. Lord of the Rings would just be the greatest thing ever. God. That would grow the Total War franchise so much too. Yeah, first age. Oh my god, if they did like a Cimmerillion age, oh man, that would be crazy. All right, guys, back to business. So, as the series currently stands, Soothsayer and Xiphos are tied 1-1. I've been some very long and atrocious games, and very well played by both players, of course. But for the forces of Xiphos, he's going to be controlling the Norscan hordes. He does have Wulfric the Wanderer here on his Pimp Chariot, so... What is he playing? Yeah, not a bad choice. Greenskins, I mean, they have cav options, but Boars and Spider Riders like aren't going to just like melt you like maybe Demogryph Knights would or something. So Wulfric on the Pimp Chariot with his Deathcaster, they're going to be riding around together. Spirit Leech as well as Doom and Darkness. Not bad at breaking the Greenskin line, so he could definitely do some shock value there. Marauders for his main core. He does also have Berserkers in the back line, so the Berserkers here and here are going to give him some anti-infantry against standard Greenskin infantry aside from Black Orcs. Marauders with Great Weapons, the one thing he might be lacking against would be Black Orcs. I mean, the Marauders with Great Weapons plus Skin Wolves, I mean, could do some work on Black Orcs and Chariots as well. And also a bit of a surprise pick. So he has the double Feral Manticore, I think. So he has one here and one here. So I do this all the time. Whenever I play Chaos against Greenskins, I love to bring an Exalted Hero on a Manticore because it doesn't rampage. And they're actually really good at terror routing and sniping Greenskin heroes. But these Feral Manticores will rampage. So it's a little bit risky with smoke bombs and other stuff like that. But we'll see how it does. So that is the army for Xiphos over here. And for Talaxtalan Soothsayer, he's got Savage Orcs, Black Orcs, so he actually brought a pretty good build. This would be good against my guide build because he brought heavy Black Orcs. So the Black Orcs are going to do well. I mean, they're heavily armored. Berserkers have low AP, so do Marauders. The Marauders with Great Weapons will be able to put a bit of a dent, but these Black Orcs are going to be really tough to crack. He has Rusty Arrows as well as Goblin Archers. On top of that, he does also have Wurzog, so the Baconator with There We Go, Fist of Gork, and it looks like Gaze of Mork, I think is what it is. On top of that, a couple groups of Forest Goblin Spider Riders, which are... I think they're one of the best options for Greenskins against Cav because they have poison, they have decent melee stats, so you just use them, muck them up, and just kind of poison them down, and then that allows your other troops like Nasty Skulkers to get in there. So 2 Forest Goblin Spider Riders, some Black Orcs in the back, so 4 in total, or I think, or no, actually it looks like he put one of them in the back. Broken Test Mob, we're going to be okay against some of the Wolves and other things like that, and then also some Orc Boars on the other side. So pretty good Greenskin army, very defensive. It looks like he's going to be keeping a tight formation here. No, he's actually going to be relocating, so... This army's quite good, though. I think it's really solid. He's just going to need to protect the archers here in the secondary line, but his front line will dominate this Norscan front line. But the Manticores could snipe out Wurzog, which is something that I suspect he's going to try and do. But again, the rampage, it just kind of sucks. Like, they're going to kind of rampage probably into some, inefficient targets like Savage Orc Biggin. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, guys. Balrog got 1v1, not even that OP. Yeah, but there's a lot of characters in Warhammer lore that are super OP too. Like Grimgor's OP, he can like kill entire armies, but in this game he's just a pile of shit, right? So I mean they would have to like lower him down and make it more reasonable. Like the Balrog. I'm sure it would just be like like Iroh Titan or something, or maybe a little bit stronger. They could add my character, Turin Bar. Well, we share a name, but I'm not, the Children of Huron stuff is pretty cool for sure. Okay, so we're going to see what happens here. Norska definitely has quite a unique army. The Chariots could do some work, but I foresee that Soothsayer might use the Forest to his advantage, but I don't know. He has a lot of infantry. He doesn't have too much cav. I mean, the cav game, Beast of Tashnar and the Maws of Savagery, that's a pretty expensive. And the Broken Tusk Mob plus Forest Goblin Spider Riders plus some support magic from Wurzog could probably take those guys out. So quite eager to see what these players do here. The forces of the Greenskins are going to be advancing across the open field. And yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it, guys. We're going to see what happens. The Norscan Chariots are sweeping forward. They do have the Shaman Sorcerer with the Lore of Death, as well as Wulfric the Wanderer on his Chariots. There's going to be some pretty aggressive chariot play coming in here. See how they do, and here he comes. Look at him. He's just like, I always feel bad for the horses here getting whipped. But yeah, they're going to move forward. And he might be able to get some free value. I mean, yeah, but he's going to take heavy Rusty Arrow Fire if he charges in. So yeah, it's a little bit dicey. Plus Wurzog with the FG of the Get could pin him down. So I think he's going to pull back with the Chariots right now and just play a little bit more cautious. So yeah, we'll see. The Greenskins kind of holding to the forest a little bit. They will be engaging. It looks like they're going to be pushing forward. And Norska is kind of just hanging out a little bit. So Xiphos just kind of feeling it out. Maybe thinking about getting some harass with his Chariots. He's probably wishing he had Fata Buna now. Fata Buna would have been so good against Black Orcs. It basically would just melt them. And the Black Orcs are the biggest threat to his army because his infantry quality is pretty poor. none of the infantry he has can stand up to Black Orcs. Like, these Black Orcs could literally solo, like, the Marauders and Berserkers right here, like, most likely. With their heavy armor, of course. It's just, like, they're jacked with 110. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he goes about that. The Forest Goblin Spider Riders are moving up, looking to maybe flush Norsca out of the forest. Norscan hordes they're just like eyeballing each other. We have a bit of a standoff right now, so just feeling it out. The Deathcaster could start Spirit Leeching Wurzog, which might not be bad. Wurzog is hiding in the trees, though, I think. No, he's actually hiding in the back, so... Oh, the Manticore might go scout him out, though. But you can see the Rustiers are detaching here for Soothsayers. So they're actually going to go out with the Black Orcs. And not Black Orcs, the Orc Airboys, and maybe go after the Feral Manticore. So if the Manticore does land and fight Wurzog, he could probably shoot it with archers and rampage it, and then countercharge it with the Broken Tusk Mob. So there's definitely some options here. Greenskin's still moving forward. I like that their army's a little bit high in sight. Oh, man. Look at that damage. So he must have used the Gaze of Mork here. I think that's what that ability's called. I always get those two confused. So let's go. Look. Yeah, the Gaze of Mork. So that actually did some really good damage against that Manticore. So, I mean, it gets it that much closer to rampaging, right? Which is quite nice. So, Greenskin's still just pushing forward. The Forest Goblin Spider Riders are also getting ready to party, just positioning. You can see here that the Shaman Sorcerer with the Lore of Death, as well as Big Papa Wolfric, are going to be pulling back to the main army now. So yeah, I don't know. No predictions. I think the Black Orcs are going to be real tough not to crack. Manticore still just kind of prodding each other out, and you can see that the Goblin Archers are pushing forward, and the Norscan Hordes are going to push forward as well. You know, because again, both armies have to be attackers, right? So that's kind of they can't just like stand there unless they have some ranged thing. So Norsca does have to advance here. They're not attacking with anything at the moment. Skin Wolves, as well as the Beasts of Tashnar, are going to be advancing, just kind of sitting on the periphery, waiting for an opportunity to strike. But there are Savage Orc Biggins here too, which are going to be really good against the Norscan Horde. So Greenskin's falling back, looking to kind of center their army. So just maybe trying to, you know, cordon off part of the Norscan army here and just get in a better position. They probably know that there's pressure coming from the forest as well, so needing to be aware of that, because of course the Beasts of Tashnar and Laws of Savagery aren't no joke, but the Orc Boar Boys and some of these Biggins and Goblins could probably muck them up pretty easily. I'm quite eager to see how well the Manticore... Oh, look at that. Beautiful stuff. So another Gaze of Mork rampages the Feral Manticore, and that's why these things suck. It's like, these boars just turn around, and these piggies need to just go ham. Yeah, these piggies need to just get all hog wild on this thing. So the Feral Manticore basically just pig food right now. It's just going to get like truffled on and taken out pretty bad. So yeah, so Norsca's going to kind of respond here. You can see the Deathcaster looks like he might be going in for a chariot charge. I mean, that's free money right there. Those pigs are definitely quite happy, although they have lost 4 models, but yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. So the pirate ship is going down for Wolfric right there. Ooh, it does tear through quite a bit of that formation, although it's definitely more devastating in a straight line. And it looks like Effigy of the Git has gone down, as well as the Wasp. So Wolfric does get pinned down. It looks like there's a couple Black Orcs. Nothing terribly devastating, to be honest. I don't know if that was the time to use it, because Wolfric's just going to be free in a couple seconds. But the Feral Manticore here is completely broken off. Some of the Norskins taking a wide route. And the Berserkers have engaged, but it is going to be Pound Town. You really need to use Marauder Champions with axes and shields, in my opinion, but I don't know. We'll see if it works out. Manticore charging in here, of course, has some power. Wolfric going in on the chariot as well into the back of those Black Orcs. Doom and Darkness trying to break the leadership of the Black Orcs, but they are a stalwart infantry unit. Rocking 33 despite that overcasted Doom and Darkness. It actually doesn't break anything. It just actually gets rid of the frenzy on the Savage Orcs there, but yeah, I don't know, it really didn't pay for itself. Fate of Una would have just been so much better, but some of the Orc Boar Boys are going to be pushing back in, rear charging Wolfric the Wanderer, as well as this Feral Manticore, so yeah, a little bit of pressure here in the back from Wolfric and company, but I feel like the Norscan front line is just going to get smashed. Typically, I think you need to go with Marauder Champions with the swords and shields and just use Famir to kind of win that fight, and then use Norscan Hounds to kind of pressure the back line, but Black Orcs are just doing a number. I mean, massacring Berserkers, beating back the Marauders as well, and on top of that, the Broken Tusk Mob just annihilates the Armored Skin Wolves. Just, oh man, that was just so one-sided. They did have the support of the Savage Orc Biggins, though, and the Greenskins look to be pretty healthy, doing a bit of a tactical fallback here. Norskins are able to overwhelm that flank, but that's simply because these Black Orcs are out of position. And they're going to reset up here. These Orc Boar Biggins are probably going to charge the Shaman Sorcerer. Pretty good charge here from Zyphos charging into the Rusty Airs, but they're still getting some pretty decent fire. And here come the Boars. Pretty much a counter to Chariots at their core here, right? So the Broken Tusk Mob is going to be pushing forward as well. Some of the Marauders in the back just going to be cleaned up by the Black Orcs. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty convincing victory for the Greenskins. Yeah, you definitely need Famir. Basically, what you do is you use 5 or 6 Marauder Champions with swords and shields, and then you get the Famir with great weapons, as well as Famir, the Misthawkers, and then just use a bunch of Norscan Frosthounds to pressure. But yeah, it's been pretty tough. I mean, here he's able to take out the Sorcerer of Zyphos, so the Wurzog is able to get on the Spleen Ripa and take this bad boy out. And Yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. Norska's going to kind of keep fighting, but they just have like a beat up man score. They have some Marauders over here who've done an okay job against the Blackworks, but I still think that the Greenskins just have too much stuff. And it looks like Wolfric has been surrounded. Fist of Gork going down, giving melee attack and magic damage to Wolfric, or to the pigs. We're then going to do some pretty good damage to Wolfric. I mean, he has a large target. He's armored. It's pretty ideal for the boars, especially since Wolfric's on a chariot. He's not as much of like a fighter. He's more of kind of a shock damage unit. So a pretty good play here from Zyphos, though. He's going to get the Skin Wolves over to kind of help out Wolfric. He definitely needs it right now. Effigy of the Git going down, which also does some magic damage. But the Greenskin Archers, perfect shape. They haven't been inhibited at all this game. Have just been going to town. That is going to be a pretty decisive victory for Tlaxtala and Soothsayer with the Greenskins. So, yeah. We're getting there, guys. We are getting there. Yeah. I'm telling you, I really think that you need to use Famir. Famir are like the best thing on the Norskin roster. Skin Wolves aren't really that good. You just use champions, you use Wolfric, Shadowcaster. Yeah, the Greenskins did really well. I mean, his build was solid. Tlaxtala and Soothsayer had a really good build. But yeah, the Marauders and Berserkers just they can't hang with Black Orcs. They can't hang with pretty much any of the infantry. Berserkers will mash like Savage Orcs, but they still take a ton of damage in return. It's not cost effective. And the Manscores were a very ballsy decision, but as you can see, Soothsayer just used the Gaze and rampaged them and just got them for free. So that was also another big part of the game for sure. So well played. So currently Soothsayer's up 2-1 here. So let's go ahead, change this. And here we go. And good. All right, well played to both players for sure. I mean, it's a tough matchup for Norska. I think Greenskins have a slight advantage there. Yeah, that was a good one. All right, 1 second, boys. Yeah, we're good. Oh, I got to get Chuck Norris up, though. Almost forgot that. I've been pretty good about that today. Normally, I'm like just all over the place with that. All right, here we go. It's funny, like I have this like tiny ass cup of water and I keep like going through it because it's so... Yeah, this is a best of 5. So if Soothsayer takes this last game, it's over. Yeah. Yeah, man scores are terrible. I haven't played that, Mr. Patel. No. I doubt we're going to see Skaven. Soothsayer, of course, loves his Bretonia. So it looks like we're going to see Bretonia. Oof. But Zyphos gets to counterpick him now. So he could just go... Zyphos should go Chaos. So Soothsayer says, I'll play Bretonia and ban the Lizard people. Zyphos says, somehow I knew I shouldn't play this against you. Nurgle's my favorite of the Chaos Gods. Because I play Death Guard in 40k. That's my army, so... Yeah, the Black Orcs just spanked those Marauders. Just brutal spanking. Now, Manscores, I like them with the Exalted Hero, because it doesn't rampage, so it's like, and it's also a bit stronger, so it doesn't cost that much more. Yeah, neither of these guys. The mighty Aerocrastic in chat is one of the champions of the Skaven in the community. He would play if he was here. Yeah, I mean, really, it's hard to bait out the WoW with the Norskins. You just go with the front line of champions. Telling you, champions with the axes and shields, Firecaster, Wolfric, 2 Famir, like, and the rest of your money on Ice Wolves. It's really good against Greenskins. Oh, Zyphos can't go Chaos. Yeah, but Terror doesn't work against Black Orcs. They're immune to psychology. All right, I'll be right back, guys. 1 second. Back. We unmuted the microphone. We're ready to party. And yeah, that's gonna be that. The Lizardmen are quite good against Bretonnia. That's why you've seen Soothsayer and several other Bretonian players in this tournament ban them when they pick Bretonnia, simply because the Lizardmen have the Scar veterans on the dinosaurs are really good against Bretonian knights. It's really tough to drag them down. Yeah, Skaven are definitely a little bit weak. We'll see what Xiphos picks. Yes, Skaven. Skaven, Warp Lightning, Helm's Deep. Just bring 6 Warp Lightning cannons and surround them with halberds. There's probably limitations on how many of those you can bring. So the rule set of this tournament, I guess like there was like 4 factions that you can only pick like one of for some reason. I'm not sure why. I mean, yeah, I think Chaos would be fun to watch versus Bretonnia. Chaos has a slight advantage, but again, I think it would be fair if you could counterpick into Chaos. Yeah, there's certain factions that I guess are restricted. Yeah. I'm not sure. Again, but I don't play in these tournaments as much, so maybe I haven't experienced something that I have. Norska is pretty good against Bretonnia too. You just spam Famir with Great Opens. I don't know if you can play them again though. Let's see. Man scores are just trash. Yeah, man scores are pretty bad. So, are we getting a mirror match? Oh my god. No way. A Bretonian mirror match. Oh no, please don't make me cast a mirror match, dudes. Oh my god, it's happening. This is brutal, guys. Wow. Okay, so we got a Bretonian mirror match here, guys. In the finals. It is time to do it. You're right, Desoct. It is indeed time to do it. Can't play. Yeah. Oh my god. It's gonna be the Bretonian mirror. Oh, this is gonna be a weird one. It's gonna be so hard to differentiate with the colors. I wish one of them could play like Carcassonne or something. Oh my gosh. The Bretonian mirror. Where's just all of it for the lady? Yeah. This is gonna be frustrating. Casting, I hate mirror matches so much. One mirror match every week. I know we've been getting them pretty consistently here. Memes go wild. Oh, the memes rise. It's probably just gonna be Fey Enchantress versus Fey Enchantress with like just Grail Knights and Men at Arms. That's all it's gonna be. Or you think Xiphos is? You think there's gonna be halberd boxes? That would be really funny if we saw like Blessed Field Trebuchets and halberd boxes. Bretonian Civil War. Certainly is. I mean, not much commentary on this matchup. I mean, it's just kind of like who gets the better charges and spear formations, right? It's like kind of peasants lose. Yeah, the peasants definitely going to get run over pretty bad. I'm excited for this. Quest Knights, yeah, could be Quest Knights too. Quest Knights do have pretty really good AP compared to Grail Knights. We will see. The sport wins. All aboard the meme train. What if we saw Royal Hippogriff Knights? Wouldn't that be something? The winner here will be Musion, correct? That would be fun. And they're on a Shimmer Sword, which I think is a fairly open field map. I can't quite remember it off the top of my head. Yeah, I'd love to see like mass halberds. Like just like Soothsayer, one of them bringing like mass halberds with like men at arms with spears, spearmen with shields. Just marching with like King Lewin and some Hippogriff Knights. That would actually be really fun to watch. I feel like it would fail, but I mean, you got to use the Knights are so good in Bretonnia. Like even Knights of the Realm are solid. God, there's some guy outside like my neighbor's like doing construction with like a jackhammer or something. It's so obnoxious. You guys can't hear it, but it's just like triggering me. Oh man. Peasant Uprising, all peasant army versus all knight army. Yeah, that would actually be fun if they could coordinate that between the two of them. You need as many rank 9 peasant mobs as possible. What do peasant mobs actually get up to if you chevron them? What is it, like 15 and 15, like in that stat range? 13 hippos equal auto win. Halberd peasant bow boxes, that would be pretty fun. But I think the bow box would just get dumpstered. Chaos is the true winner here. Correct. No. So yeah, this for anyone, Flower Tower, to answer your question, I'm not picking the maps. This isn't my tournament I'm running. I'm actually just casting a tournament for the one and only Shetland Apache. So yeah, this isn't one of the flash tournaments. Normally I do pick the maps for those, but yeah. Well, Questing Knights do really good armor piercing compared to the Grail Knights, so there is a case to be made for those bad boys. They're also a little better against infantry. They have better sustained combat stats. But Blessed Trebuchet Doom stack. Oh man, I know this tournament's ran pretty long. We're at 3 hours, 5 minutes. It's a balls deep cast today. But we're almost at the end. It's 2-1. Soothsayer wins this. It's over. But Xiphos, I mean, it's a mirror. Xiphos had a really beautiful Wood Elf win. That thing was great. For anyone who's joining now, you missed it. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, next weekend we'll be casting some flash tournaments. So it'll be a similar format to this. Yeah, I've seen people use Questing Knights in a lot of different matchups lately. I don't know if it's a hipster thing or if it's actually good. I don't play Bretonnia too much. I do like them quite a bit though. Bretonnia's a really fun fact. All right, so Xiphos is ready. Soothsayer looks like he's picking his last pick here. Grail Guardians I like against vampires. They're like a good anti-infantry cab. They're just like, they take very little damage against like infantry, and they're just durable. Good for like holding a center pocket, reinforcing a part of your formation that's collapsing. Yeah, it would be better, but if they pick a different Bretonnian faction, it limits your lord choices, so then you're giving unnecessary information to your opponent, right? Which is tough. Hipster Knights. Guess that only a Grail Knight can defeat a Grail Knight. I wonder how it would go in a straight up fight, Questing Knights versus Grail Knights. I wonder like what the actual damage output would be on that. All right, guys, game's starting. It's time. Potentially the last game of the day. Let's get hyped. Let's get that second wave of energy. Oh man, it's so much harder without coffee to like keep that flow. Hey, and also we have another donation from Gerard. Thank you so much for the donation on PayPal, man. Really appreciate it. From the Half Dragon. Gotta close this. Gotta go get rid of Chuck. Thank you again, Chuck, for your service. We'll see you next time. Hopefully Chuck Norris will be back for another game. Of course, who doesn't like a best of 5 rubber match? Yeah, Grail Guardians are certainly very tanky. They're good in sustained combat, just kind of sitting them. I really like using Grail Guardians occasionally against Vampire Count. It's pretty fun. There was a build for a long time where it was like Grail Knight spam and just have Lefay Enchantress just push forward against vampires. No, I'm trying not to drink coffee for a few days to see if my like caffeine apparently isn't good if like you have wrist problems and stuff. I don't know. To be honest, I'm just trying it because I'm gonna be drinking coffee. I'm gonna be back to it in a couple days, I'm sure. I just love it too much. I know, life's hard. Life's hard, my friends. Oh, got it, Desocked. Thank you, man. The Half Dragon himself. I feel like everyone in the stream who's been here, we've been on this like journey together, you know? We've walked the ashen fields of Mordor together through the swamps of the dead. And we've made it to Mount Doom here, and we're throwing that ring in, finishing off that stream. Going good. It's going good, guys. I gotta say. There's some. What time is it in the USA? 3:30 right now. Yeah, I saw the doctors. Oh my god. When the doctor looked at my MRIs, he's like, how do you have such bad tendonitis in your both shoulders and both wrists? And I was just like, oh man, I don't know. I used to be a bit of a workout fiend. I used to work out like 6 days a week and do the same exercises every day. I was such an idiot. Again, I was 19 and I was like, oh, I can't get hurt. Feels good, right? All right. So as far as, oh man, why do they both have to play Bretonnia? Why are you guys doing this to me? Okay, so for Xiphos' army, he's got, I'm just making sure Chuck's gone. Okay. So he's got Grail Guardians, Grail Knights, and Knights of the Realm. So a little bit of diversity with his Knight Corps here. Peasant mobs, an entire front line of men-at-arms, but he does have Foot Squires mixed in the mix. So a couple groups of Foot Squires, I think it's actually only one. So on top of that, he does have the Fey Enchantress, and Grail Knights, and Knights of the Realm. So a lot of Grail Knights, actually. Yeah, Grail Knights definitely, you would think anti-large would be good in this matchup, so he does have those with Peasant mobs. So yeah, pretty much just Knights, Peasants, and Fey Enchantress. Pretty standard stuff. And it looks like, oh god, is it the same? It is. So for this army, men-at-arms in the front line, he does actually have... Okay, this is good. He has something to differentiate himself. He does have the Beast Slayers of Bastion, which are Bastion? Beast Slayers of Bastion? Pretty cool. Okay, so he has the Beast Slayers of Bastion. These guys, anti-large, Foot Squire unit. Pretty cool. They might come into play later in the game with the Fey Enchantress kind of turtling up. Knights of the Realm, Knights of the Realm, Knights of the Realm, Grail Knights, and more Knights of the Realm, and a Blessed Field Trebuchet. And he's going to take advantage of this terrain here to kind of defend this thing. So it's going to be shooting. This is a game changer, boys. Soothsayer with the Field Trebuchet. So he does have the Beast Slayers of Bastion and the Field Trebuchet. That's it. Yes. This is it, guys. Who has the blessings of the lady? Talaxlan Soothsayer, who's clearly a fan of the Lizardmen, or is it going to be Xiphos? I'm not sure. We'll find out. We'll find out in this episode. A matchup you don't see terribly often is also Bretonnia versus the versus Empire. I feel like that's a pretty fun one to watch. Yeah, the Beast Slayers are pretty cool. He called it. Trebuchet called it. Oh man, it's time, guys. Ready when you are. All right, see what happens. My money's on Bretonnia. Pretty good odds. That's so bad. Why did I even take that joke? It was just a low-hanging fruit. Okay, so Fey Enchantress. Let's take a look at the spells. Regrowth and Earthblood. And then over here we also have Regrowth. Oh, and Dwellers Below. He does have the Dwellers Below, so there's going to be some tentacles coming up, having a good time. And the Blessed Field Trebuchet is not firing yet. It's going to be shooting at some of the peasants. No peasant archers. Yeah, so it's just going to be very almost identical Bretonnian armies, just with the exception of a couple units here. But the forces of Xiphos a little bit meatier, simply because they don't have a Trebuchet or the Beast Slayers, which are somewhat expensive, right? Like the Beast Slayers of Bastion, I think, cost like $750 or something. So, oh my God, Skaven versus Skaven would just be like, just no. Terrible. I think in like my Flash tournaments, I'm going to start making it so there's no mirror matches. Like if they get a mirror on their blind picks, they have to switch their other factions or something. The men-at-arms here taking some of the Trebuchet fire. A little bit of damage going on those guys, but they're still confident in the face of the monstrosities of the Bretonnian. Oh, it's just a Field Trebuchet, so it's not Blessing, which is unfortunate. I would have liked to see some Blessings, but yeah. So the peasants pushing forward. Doesn't look like the Knights. I think that Soothsayer realizes his army's a little bit smaller simply because of his investments in some other units. He's going to form up a bit of a defensive box. So he's going to send spears on the high ground here, which is enough to pretty much fend off any threats. And he's just going to be like, hey, bro, I have a Trebuchet. I'm just going to sit here and come at me. That's pretty much it. Surprised we didn't see more men-at-arms with polearms. I feel like they would have been really underrated winners in this matchup. Like the anti-large, armor-piercing, charge defense. A lot of stuff would have been good there. But again, most really good players can get around that. Oh, man. He forming up some sort of a Rohirrim charge. It's like he's lining up his cav. King Theoden's just going to like ride down the ranks. Like, ride now. Ride for wrath, for ruin. Anyways, we have the Knights of the Realm here. Looks like they're going to be pushing up through the infantry, I think. Are they going to take some free charges? Because the Knights of Xiphos are a little bit far back. I mean, yeah, he should definitely just go get some freebies. Go ride down some peasants. Net yourself, a good 200-300 gold. Now you can see that Xiphos realizes this. He's like, oh boy, I'm going to pull back. And immediately Talaxlan Soothsayer is going to see that coming and just kind of hang tight and see what's going on. But the Bretonnian forces, this Trebuchet is just a terror in the night, killing a whopping 3 men-at-arms, 250 gold unit. Definitely paying for itself here. Oh, but look at this. There's a bit of a flank coming up. So Knights of the Realm as well as some Grail Knights are thinking about doing a flank here. But Xiphos obviously reacts very quickly. And we're just going to have a bit of a monster mash in the front line. There actually are some peasant archers for Talaxlan Soothsayer. He's going to start shooting at the peasant mobs, getting some free value. And honestly, I would probably just shoot the trebuchets at the knights here like he's doing. Yeah, that's like, he killed 3 knights there. That's pretty good. So just sit back and defend this thing. The burden of aggression here is really going to be on Xiphos. He's the one who has to advance because, Talaxlan can kind of just sit and countercharge him because he does have the ranged assets. So right here, the peasant bowmen are shooting at some of the foot squires, I think, which are one of the better targets. He could also switch the trebuchet onto the foot squires, but I think targeting the knights is pretty good. These knights are going to be sweeping back down into the battlefield, and it looks like it's going to be a full circle here. So something else to note is that Xiphos does have his troops in lance formation, whereas I don't think Romulan... Oh, not Romulan. Oh my god, I'm so like Talaxlan does. Yeah, it looks like he actually has a couple of them in lance formation. So in the front line, some of the men-at-arms have collided with the peasant mobs of Xiphos. And it looks like Xiphos charges in with the Grail Knights, but he's going to pull back from the countercharge of Talaxlan Soothsayer, as these guys do get in there. But another countercharge by Xiphos. So Xiphos actually maybe gets the better charge here, but it's just, there's so much going down here. It's just like hard to like get any effective fighting. Fey Enchantress is having a bit of a wet noodle contest right here. And it looks like the Fey Enchantress of Talaxlan Soothsayer is able to slap up the Fey Enchantress of Xiphos. And right now, just being really conservative here, just the Beast Slayers of Bastion. Oh, these Beast Slayers should pile in. The Knights of Xiphos are overextending a little bit, but also getting good charges. Here comes the counter charge from the Grail Knights, just going into these Grail Knights here. This is such madness. Yeah, a very, very even fight. It's also going to come down to whose Fey Enchantress is going to be more involved, because that favor of the Fey is going to be really good in clinching the fight. So both players do have their favor of the Fey kind of engaged here. The Grail Knights for Xiphos taking quite a bit of damage in here. Soothsayer definitely got the advantageous engagement on this part of the battlefield. He also has the Beast Slayers of Bastion in here who are holding back the filthy peasant mobs and are also giving anti-large to this fight. The Chalice of Potions goes down right here. It looks like he does clip those Knights of the Realm from Xiphos. Does some pretty good damage. The Blessed Field Trebuchet still in good shape. He probably wants to keep some Spearmen back here to defend this, because if this formation buckles... Ooh, and Dwellers Below going down, which is doing a bunch of damage to the Xiphos Cav. Xiphos Cav. It probably should have been over here a little bit more. It looks like it clipped the back end here, but now the Knights of the Realm for Xiphos have gotten through, and I bet you Soothsayer's really like kind of wishing he had kept these spears back here. Having the spears back here would have been really, really advantageous to help just fend off these Tattered Knights, because that's a lot of resources being given up for free. These guys are still generating value, right? Another Chalice of Potions going down on the Knights of Xiphos, again clipping the back end of the formation. Looks like Talaxlan Soothsayer does lose heavily on this side. His Grail Knights get pounded here. And here, they're pretty much just all in bad shape. So, yeah, looks like Xiphos might be in good shape. Number one, he's compromised the back line a little bit. You can see that the Grail Knights for Talaxlan are going to push back there and go after the Knights of the Realm. Might be able to clean him up, but still, a really good engagement. Front line is also going a little bit better for Xiphos. He is pushing through with his Foot Squires. But Bounce Bar is pretty even. The Beast Slayers of Bastion in a good fight here. They're going to be fighting Grail Knights, which is great. So they're anti-large, they're armor piercing. They have 81 models. If it does go to like a really late game grind, these guys are just going to be huge MVPs. But I think over here it might be a really decisive situation. It seems like there's not too much for Talaxlan Soothsayer. There are these the Fey Enchantress here, but pretty much all of these knights are the Knights of Xiphos. So he could potentially surround the Fey Enchantress here. Talaxlan has some spears, but you can see a lot of his formation is kind of crumbling. I feel like the Bounce of Power is getting more in the favor of Xiphos here, as he's had that really advantageous Cav engagement out on the flanks. The Dwellers Below didn't seem to do a whole lot either. Over here, though, a counter charge. Talaxlan Soothsayer does have some Knights of the Realm who do charge those Grail Knights and get a nice little sandwich maneuver with some of the remnants here. The Fey Enchantress for Talaxlan also getting in there and might be able to change the tide of the battle. Some of these troops are rallying. Still a very close fight. The Blessed Field Trebuchet is back online, throwing some boulders into this main engagement here. Check this out. Xiphos does get some troops through. These Men-at-Arms are going to be able to get 400, 600, 700 gold worth of value just by themselves. So very good stuff from the Men-at-Arms in the infantry fight. The Blessed Field Trebuchet, 33 kills, a lot of them against Knights, definitely doing okay. But the Bounce Power is starting to shift for the first time here in the battle. You can see that, I don't know. Talaxlan does have the Fey Enchantress in here. Where's the other Fey Enchantress? He is kind of rallying this pocket here. I mean, he's able to actually clean up a lot of the Knights of Xiphos. And Xiphos is kind of falling back a little bit, but Xiphos, these are Soothsayers. Xiphos has mostly infantry. It seems like Talaxlan Soothsayer has kind of clinched the infantry fight a little bit. He does also have the Beast Slayers, but the Beast Slayers are being cut apart by regular Foot Squires. As the Beast Slayers are an anti-large specialist, regular Foot Squires are going to be a little bit better. They have higher weapon strength, of course, but they just don't have the bonus for large. So the Beast Slayers are going to go down here, especially with the supporting peasants coming in. But yeah, the Fey Enchantress are having a Dragon Ball Z duel, just shooting Kamehamehas at each other. There's this one Men-at-Arms being blasted by the Grandeur, but oh my god. Seeing it here first. How am I following this? I have no idea. But anyways, the Fey Enchantress here is going to be fighting the other Fey Enchantress. In this pocket, though, Talaxlan looks like he's able to pull some cav over there and beat the Foot Squires. So, but these Men-at-Arms in the back have taken out the Field Trebuchet. The Peasant Archers are coming back, but I don't know. I think Talaxlan is kind of rallying a little bit. It was looking grim, but I don't see much for Xiphos. Xiphos is looking a little bit bare bones now. I mean, he does have a couple pockets of decent infantry, but the Beast Slayers of Bastion got some support from the Knights. We have the Fey Enchantress duel. I really don't know what happened this game, but I just don't. I got nothing. The Fey Enchantress here is fighting the Fey Enchantress. It's just a duel, perfectly even stats. The Peasant Archers are back online for Talaxlan Soothsayer, generating some good value against the unshielded Men-at-Arms. Over here we have the Grail Knights for Soothsayer online. A lot of the troops are actually running for Xiphos. He might want to pull back and try and regroup, but yeah, I think it's over. I think Soothsayer is somehow going to win this, so his defensive formation, somehow, some way, even though losing that fight out in the flank, he was able to win in the center, it seems, and rally a lot of his troops. So some Grail Knights from Xiphos charging in there. The other Fey Enchantress is hot in pursuit as well. Maybe they'll be able to clean these guys up. They're all shaking. Everyone is just shaking right now. The Fey Enchantress wet noodle contest is going on, but Talaxlan has Knights here. He has Knights here. Yeah, a lot of his infantry are even chasing off the infantry of Xiphos. Xiphos doesn't... Yeah, this game's pretty much over. I think Xiphos has some Men-at-Arms 73 over there and some peasant mobs, but it's really looks like Talaxlan has most of the stuff. So, yeah, this was a wild game. I think it's going to be it, though. I mean, it's just the Fey Enchantress here with, she has no support. The Beast Slayers are coming as well. The Fey Enchantress of Talaxline can easily just chase those guys down and just give them the business. Yeah, Fey Enchantress going down. Bounce power shifting. I thought Zyphos might have that when he broke through the front line, but it seemed like there might have been some cap micro that I wasn't aware of. I think in the center, his counter charges were very good. But yeah, wow. That's it. I know, I wish we could see the actual, like, yeah, hard stats on the Trebuchet. No idea how that happened, but it happened. It's a game. I just talked to what I felt like I had no insight in regards to like why things were happening because it was just so like random. So Aram Sargin says, I just published on Amazon my debut novel, Fake Taxi, about a guy who drives Uber in Los Angeles and sleeps with his passengers. I'd like to gift the winner of this tournament a signed copy. Well, feel free to get thank you for the donation firstly, and feel free to get in touch with Shetland Apache if you'd like to. He's giving out prizes and all that stuff. So yeah, so that's a 3-1 for Soothsayer. We haven't seen him lose a series yet here on the channel. Not today, says the God of Death. He's able to get that. So 3-1 for Soothsayer. That's it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. It's hot in here. It's like 100 degrees in this room. I'm sweating. It was intense. Congratulations to Talaxtalan Soothsayer for the glorious games today. He was able to pull out a win against ODM Zyphos, another very, very good player. But yeah, those were solid. Yeah. Aristodemos, you were indeed correct about the 3-1. That's pretty funny. You were quite accurate about that. The tourney will be up live later on YouTube. So for anyone who's missed some of the earlier games, you can go back and watch all of them. I'll try and do timestamps too later tonight. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that Soothsayer's Knights were just able to outperform. Yeah, I mean, the kills across his Knights were way better on average, so I suppose the Knights just did better. And the Beast of Bastion, I think, also cut apart a lot of the Knights in the middle. They did a pretty damn good job. This is the finals. No, Gabo isn't in the tournament, I don't think, anymore. There's nothing else, right? There's not another game I need to cast? I wasn't sure. I'm pretty sure that was the finals. So, big thanks to Shetland Apache. He runs these weekly tournaments. Shetland, if you're still in chat, please feel free to give a link to your future tournaments or your Discord, which is a really good place to get into the multiplayer community if you guys are looking to play in these tournaments and be casted here on the channel eventually. Yeah, it was good. That was a good game. It was a really good game. I don't know what to say, boys. So big thanks to you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'm gonna go get some dinner, take a little bit of walk. Pet Wookie. Yasir, we'll have Shetland give a link in chat. Yeah, Soothsayer's OP for sure. Yeah, oh yeah, serious business. And again, big congratulations to Soothsayer for the W. It was a great one. So thanks again for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. As far as the regular schedule of content, I'll be getting, my Flash tournament will be next Sunday, most likely. So we're going to have that on Sunday. And yeah, it'll be a similar format to this, 2 best-of-3s and a best-of-5 in the finals. The rules, we'll be using the same rule set, except we don't do faction bans. We just do blind picks. So the players basically just pick 3 factions they want to play, any 3, and it's just blind. So it forces people into kind of weird matchups every now and then. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now. Make sure to check out Shetland Apache's Discord if you guys are looking to get into tournaments and stuff. Of course, just make sure to read the rules for the Discord and all that. And again, big thanks to you guys for watching. It was super fun. I'm going to go take a break and get some food and stuff. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Take care.